How are we all doing today? Look at these hot dudes. Dude, look at these hot dudes. Look at the aesthetic. Look at the aesthetic. This shit is my jam. Anyway, hi everyone. Thank you for having me start off being bald. I'm sorry I delayed stream by 45 minutes. I was really hungry. I just got home. Well, I got home 45 minutes ago, but you know. How is audio levels and everything, you guys? Is it good? I hope it's good. I'm in gotcha hell, but otherwise good. Gotcha hell, yo. What gotcha game are you playing? Also, hi everybody! Hi Strimmer, hello Sormer, hello Binya, hello Wolfman, hello Giga, hello Gotcha Devil, hello, I saw Runic here earlier. Hope you're getting some good sleep. Thank you for hanging out. I'm sorry I started late. So you can't see the pogginess that is hot men right now. Any audio levels are good so far? Alright, cool. Because I know when I started up this game I was fucking loud. Hello Sormer, in case I didn't say it already. I think I said it, but anyway, are you guys ready? I am so excited because, by the way, in case y'all didn't know, this is called TOUCHSTARVED. It is a dark gothic style visual novel, and there's hot men that you can romance. They have a Kickstarter going on right now, and it ends in about 3 days. So that's why I wanted to play this. That's why I pushed aside the other stream I was gonna do to do this one, because yeah, girl needs to know if I should spend money on this Kickstarter, because I have gotten scammed by Kickstarter like 3 different times already, and I'm like, alright, hold on, they released a demo and they seem promising, but I just gotta double check, you know, you gotta double check. Quick ads to take up pre-rolls. Hey, silence cardboard. Also, hello, what's up? Anyway, look at those hot silhouettes in the background. Alright, let us get a go. New game. Demo product. This is a demo of the TOUCHSTARVED prologue and not the finished product. Thank you. This is just a prologue? So I may have supported to Sorber, you let's go! Did you do the demo yet? Or did you just see the aesthetic and was like, ah, hell yeah? Because I was tempted to do that, but I'm like, but they have a demo, I should just play it. And I'm just like, okay, well listen. This is my visual novel gaming channel now. So I might as well. Y'all didn't hear that. y'all didn't hear that. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll just play it. Content warning. TOUCHSTARVED is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury and dismemberment. I don't know if I signed up for that, but you know what? It's fine. The hell is that? Don't worry about it. I did the one with the digital key. I think, okay, depending on how much I like this game, I might go for the charm. Their art is really cute. I like their art. Anyway, player discretion is advised, and this is everyone's warning. Okay? On we go. Oh no, it's horror themes. Grabs popcorn. True. If you accept this content warning, please click to proceed. Clickies. Tutorial. In TOUCHSTARVED, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Okay, so here's my problem when it comes to visual novel games. I do not save often. I don't save nearly enough times in these games. And I know you should, especially before every massive decision. But what the hell is that, you know? Generic 18 plus confirmation, rip YouTube channel. Okay, I know for sure they said there's no NSFW, so we're fine. Okay, now Saf has to play until secret ending. We'll see how long it takes me to get through one game through. Because some people said it was short, but then other people like spent like 6 hours just getting everything. So we'll see. Controls: left click, progress text and dialogue. Mouse wheel up, rewind text and dialogue. Mouse wheel down, progress text and dialogue. Spacebar, hide the UI. Press space again to bring it back. Alt, activate skip mode. Okay. I'm gonna for war. Choose my name. I will be Saphera. Sonic April Fool's game flashbacks. Yeah, the one where fucking Trynna told me their friend only took 30 minutes to beat the game, and then I fucking do it, it's 4 hours. Okay, but 6 hours is a short Saf stream, so we're good. I have work bestie. Choose my pronouns. Okay, so just in case anyone's curious, I would like to go he/him, but I would wait until I become Fate, aka my male model OC VTuber that is currently in development. Well, in development as in I'm on the waiting list, but that'll happen sometime this year, I think. But yeah, but since I'm playing Saf, I'm gonna be she and her. But this is just a heads up for anyone who doesn't follow me on Twitch. I'm gonna be a dude model on YouTube. I don't know why, I just feel like it. Teehee, silly. It's gonna be an hour, 8 hours later, for real. They them cut slug. I'm not a slug. Poor Noma getting abandoned. Okay, we'll talk about Noma later, but I've thought about it. But we'll talk about Noma later. He will still be around. It's just there might not be a model of him anytime soon. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, anyway. R.I.P. Noma for real. Alright, she, her. Let's go. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. And ew, my hair is... Why are you ewing my hair? My hair is beautiful, excuse me? Oh shit, hold on, what is this? Select my origin. Alright, let's read these. The unnamed, a fallen oracle. You're raised as an oracle in a remote temple. Did I just say tempo? Temple. You know what? A remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's word, you fled in search of the Synovium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. Oh, that sounds like it'd be helpful. Enter generic sad D&D rogue backstory. Oh my god, for real though. Dude, if I were to ever make a D&D character, it'd just be fucking the same generic edgy shit that everyone's heard about. The Hound, a forsaken thief. You are raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when nobody else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure, then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to the Synovium, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. Doesn't sound like me. The Alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled Synovium mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Synovium, seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Ooh, okay, okay. One day we'll get Saf to join us in D&D. Bestie, I don't have time for anything. We haven't played in months though, so I decay how soon that is gonna be. Yeah, I'm just like, haven't you guys been a hiatus for a while? Which is RIP though. It sounded like a lot of fun. Like the one time that Big was streamed it. Okay, let's see. What do you guys think I should do? I'm leaning towards either the Unnamed or the Alchemist, but I kind of feel like the Alchemist seems like they said I'm good with history. I'm not good with history. Those descriptions awakening some edge in me. Let's go. I'm gonna do the Unnamed. We'll do the Unnamed. We'll start basic for now. What a name for the stream. Thank you, Kyra, and hello. Do you like my bark bark wolf? Okay, I'm gonna be the Unnamed. But magic? Okay, well, we have to do... We're probably gonna do 2 runs. Anyway, we'll do magic the next time. Your name is Saphera. You selected she, her pronouns. Your backstory is the Unnamed. Is this correct? What is that emo? You're peeking? Yes. Don't forget to save. Too late. Actually, wait, hold on. I think it. Oh, the same is the same as Okay. Return. Face turquoise covering eyes. Sag rip. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren lands. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair. But then I saw it. That's a big town. Aridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Synovium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Okay, I was like, hello. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked wastes. Or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Ooh, fog. What the fuck is this continuity error? There's continuity error? Okay, hear me out. What if the cure for the curse is to bang a hot monster? I hope it is! Hushed voice. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. Oh dear, that's foggy. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Woo! Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. Oh, what the hell is that thing? Not sure if I want to smash. Wait, hold on. I mean, it's humanoid. I don't know what I feel about those tentacle arms, though. It's bestie shaped? I don't know about that. I see tentacles on Smash. I don't know how I feel about tentacles on one arm, you know? Like, I don't know. It feels weird, you know? I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding. White blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. Oh, God. Who would smash? Who would smash? Which one of you would smash? Will you be using a voice mod for Fate? Oh no, I won't be doing a voice mod for Fate. Oh, it was an arm with their mouthticles? Yeah, too many eyes. Smash! First reaction to everything is smash or pass. Okay, but listen. Okay, but the crotch has an eyeball. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. No. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. Thank God this is a visual novel. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. Run for the city, head toward the wagon? You can call a one-eyed monster AO? No, Stormer. I'm gonna run for the city. I think the wagon's fucked. Run for the city! I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fog fall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Oh my God, alright. Started out strong, let's go! Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn in deep into my palm. The pain is quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Bestie, I'm gonna get a fucking infection. Can he stand? Oh hey, look, it's the guy in the thumbnail. One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. I got bone? No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Oh boy, their lips peel back into a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go! Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die! Spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. Scream for help or fight them off? Well, I'm fucking choking. Fight them! Fight them! My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. And not because of the fogfall or the solace, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, no, no. Not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studding its leathery skin thin as though grinning. Wait, what? Wait. Shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studding its leathery skin thin as though grinning? Okay, I don't know what that means. Every time we touch, I get the ceiling now. There's a flash of claws, red spill across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. Wait, I already lost my arm? I should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Did I die already? Am I dead? If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. Died at first run, congratulations, no. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment I take a reflexive breath, air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back, warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Damn, I'm not dead. Do not be afraid. I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. I enjoyed my stay. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me! My words come out in a little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No. Who the hell is this? Sit up and lie back down. Safe. Angel? Yeah, I think so. Sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. A stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Hold on. Let's go look at the hot dude. Oh, he's so sexy. Let's go. I like his outfit for real. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. Medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Oh no, I'm naked! Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Smash! Everyone's smashing. Strange, cursed, and human. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anyone. Even the shrine of my childhood, the one sanctuary I ever knew, turned out to be a horrific lie. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. Oh, that painting over here is kind of gnarly. Like the one on the right, with like the human, yeah, dude, that looks gnarly. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. Oh, I just realized you guys can see my mouse. Is that distracting? You guys want me to take the mouse off? The air makes my nose twitch. A faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic that I can't quite place. Oh, he's so beautiful. Oh, he's so beautiful. Hold on. Dude, I love him. Dude. His long, gorgeous locks. Oh my god. Also, people with dark skin who wear white like this, very hot. Mouse on is fine, I think. Okay, well, if it gets distracting, guys, let me know. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Oh no, I'm short. Thank you, or could you step out? You know what? He's probably already seen me naked. Fuck it, thank him. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Meeting his gaze sends a hot... what? Hold on, what's the definition of this word? Frisson? Oh, no, it's the chills! A sudden, strong feeling of excitement or fear, a thrill, and it gives you chills. Is it frisson? Learn to pronounce. Tell me how to pronounce it. Sounds like frisson. Okay, thank you. That doesn't teach me shit. I don't think we will notice the mouse with the hot men on screen. Alright, pog. Meeting his gaze sends a hot frisson down my spine. Something about him nags at me, like a half-formed memory I can't place. Thank you. Oh, look at his long hair! Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. You're welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off, and yet my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps toward one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's office, clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton? May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Say nothing, glare at him, decline an answer. All these just make me sad. I mean, like, okay, I guess I have reasons for being suspicious, but 2 of these are just antagonistic. We're gonna say nothing. There's no answer I could give without raising unwelcome suspicion, so I just shake my head and finish tying the bandages in silence. I can only help if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No. Best to keep my curse to myself for now, and learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kuras. And where exactly am I? Aridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I could think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Aridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment, which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I trail off, bewildered. I've never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? I don't know what science is. The doctor, Kuras, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Aridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Aridia, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I am also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Saphera. My name is Saphera. It is a pleasure to meet you, Saphera. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving me. Why did he save me? I kinda wanna know why he saved me. Hold on, let's save again. They said save often. He has too many shiny bits for a doctor. Accessories get dirty. Honestly, that's true. And also, where are the gloves at? Why did he save me? If there's anything I've learned, it's that everybody wants something. With the world in such peril, no one reaches out a hand without expecting something in return. Can I ask why you saved my life? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kuras. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kuras might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient. Fascinating? It's my wings, ain't it? I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such a perilous journey to Aridia. I could not help being curious about you, Saphera. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself? I don't know what to say to that. You're pretty curious yourself, sir. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody will help a whore like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Kuras lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Saphera? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Aridia in the first place. I need directions to the Synovium. The Synovium? Oh, he don't like me wanting to go to the Synovium. The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Synovium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Aridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not the Synovium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Aridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the wet wick and ask for Leander. Excuse me, the wet what? The wet wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Kuras points towards the clinic's back door. You'll be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow, rather gloomy alley. Yeah, alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the street. Ew! That's disgusting. They use chamber pots here. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside. Every last coin that I'd scraped together for the journey to Aridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Kuras didn't take any payments. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Aridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought, though. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuras gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going. Before he changes his mind, I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Kuras's clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Aridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. And there's something else, a charge in the air like the shift in pressure before a storm. It's subtle, little more than a faint, persistent thrumming, but I can't seem to shake it. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting. But I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its 3 bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long, lads. 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. I guess some. Little lads! 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in the open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Aridia's entertainment district. Oh, entertainment district, uh-huh. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word Bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the head of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. It's a cute little bar. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. Bustling bars are not something I'm used to, but I steel myself with a deep breath before pushing forward. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show! 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 The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught, swept along in the ale-stenched current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself. But the crowd has stilled. The chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Oh, what is this? Hello? Seriously, you dogs? Again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. Bark, 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 woof! A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, all right? This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich, low voice. I wish I could do rich, hot, low voices. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs, and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. Wait. Sorry. A flash of pale green lights, real magic, no ordinary stage trick, blinds me. Hold on. Let's go admire this hot picture. This hotness. Woo! Let's go! As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist, and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. Woo! A genuine magic show was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, locking on me instead, of course. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Honestly though, okay, I'm gonna be real. This would be my luck if I were in the situation. This would 100% be my luck. Like, I don't want to get perceived, but it would be like the time I don't want to get perceived that I get fucking perceived. Take the flowers or refuse the flowers? Oh, if I refuse them, I was just gonna get mad. I was distracted, but hello, there's Smash. Hell yeah, that's the only way to do it. Okay, let's go save here. Okay, we're taking the flowers though. We're taking the flowers. We're not gonna refuse. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their light dims. They fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me and I find myself smiling back. Ooh, smash! Leander steps off the table, dropping him on the excited crowd with an audible clink. Alright, bloodhounds, get back to your drink. Show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their tables and booths. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulder presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in Aridia? He says that lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. Oh no, he's a flirt. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What could I get you? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to my tab. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty after all that fried dough. I'll have what he's having. Water's good. Nah, I'm gonna have what he's having. Treat ourselves. I'll have what he's having. Well, the bartender... Watch me regret that, though. Watch it be like the strongest drink is gonna fuck me up. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbows on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. So, what brings you to the Wick? Kuras sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. So, it's about work. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses filled with what I can only assume is beer. Oh, gross! I regret everything. I raise my glass and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful! Somehow briny and sour in a way that reminds me of pickles! No, that's even terrible! I hate pickles. I already hate beer, I hate pickles too. But any thought of complaining dies the moment I look up and see Leander taking a deep swig from his glass. He lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? I need to get to the Synovium. As soon as the word Synovium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. How does everyone hear me? Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up the Synovium in here? I'm out! This is bloodhound territory! The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the Synovium. Hi, Reed! Are we barking? Hell yeah, we are! Bark, bark, woof! So far, we've met 2 hot dudes. I can't wait to see the rest of them. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he hasn't noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. For the love of... He drags a hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drink. Only a handful continue to watch me warily. Sorry about them. The Synovium's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mixed in enough drinks and, well, you saw. How about we continue this outside? When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. Sormer's barking. I follow Leander to an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick, where layers of frayed bloodhounds posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the posters is impressive. Dude, look at that pose! Dude, his shoulders are so broad, holy shit! Kuras didn't send you here for help with the Synovium, did he? From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggested I find an alternative. Yet here you are, asking about them anyway. What do you need the Synovium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you're already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold in here. Kuras told you the truth. The Synovium's dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. But the Synovium's supposed to be the place of learning, a sanctuary. The Synovium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. It feels like Leander's chesticles can crush watermelons. They can be a bit beefier, but they're pretty beefy, yeah. Especially, dude, his arms look like they got a bunch of muscle behind there. If any place held answers, it would be the Synovium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think. But things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on a lie, then what now? Leander clears his throat. But as I always say, there's solutions to every problem, and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Kuras pointed you to the bloodhounds. Let us help you. Whether it's hunting soulless, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables, we can do it all, and free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious, and if the Synovium's your first choice, you're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be happy to help you out. That is, if you'll tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for the Synovium, but he is a mage, and a powerful one at that if his demonstration earlier is any indication. I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally, my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. Leander doesn't work for the but he is hot, so I decided to tell him. Yeah, pretty much. Basically, if they are hot, tell them everything. It's fine. Nothing bad will happen by telling the hottest person your problems, right? My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I've even finished, Leander begins taking his glove off. He tugs his left hand free and flexes his finger. Let's see it. He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in this city, you'll see 1,000 curses and thrice as many cures. Do you really think Kuras would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Synovium. Better even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hands. Fine. But if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. And well, in that case, I think I'm gonna die, but you know. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. Hey, but he's blushing! He's blushing! He's blushing! With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's go, besties! Touch him! I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time, when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. He's blushing again, stop it! I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He trails off when my thumb brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but he remains still except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Dude, what if my curse makes people like either super murderous or super horny? Go away, bad thoughts, go away, bad thoughts, go away, bad thoughts. Thoughts. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leander's palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. That's so silly! Oh, hey, okay, hold on. What is this? Very goofy, so true. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more. And more. But not like this. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand. Not without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing until this moment. This is when you know hand-holding is too lewd. This game is all just gonna be about the when I get to touch somebody, and then it's just gonna be fucking censorship. While Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. Hand holding is something else, man. It really is, though. Keep touching him. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna overwrite this save slot. Keep touching him. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his. I'm going his whole arm. Let's go. Sorry, guys. This is too lewd. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to his cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? Oh, that's a big-ass scar. This hand holding is too lewd. It really is, though. I glance at Leander's face and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power. He takes my hand. His soft green eyes flick to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, they match. He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. Oh my god, he's cheesy. I draw my hand back and I take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? I'm Saphera. You're right to hide this from me, Saphera. That curse of yours. It's unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you'd best not go showing that off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. Curious how this curse works. The wet wick is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the bloodhounds have dispersed, or in a few cases, fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Oh no, he's a fuckboy. Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained. And I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Saphera. Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. The bartender's used to this shit. Escapades, huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. Sus. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound rates. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but it weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Aridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Go explore, Saphera. You'll find many roads in Aridia, each leading to different answers. But if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. We love a sex-positive muscle man. Is there a pathetic hot man? Is the question? Oh my god, if we ever have a pathetic hot man, I'm done. That's over. I love pathetic hot men. The air clings sodden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crows remain quibbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy. Oh, okay, Summer. I think you want a different kind of pathetic man than I want a pathetic man. My pathetic man is like the. You know what? Let's not get into it. If y'all know who my Oshi is, that's good enough. Anyway. At least they've got reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Kuras and Leander both made it clear that Synovium can't be trusted. But I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the Synovium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. Uh-oh. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadow runs down the streets and rivulets, Formless dark spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch. A muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. Well, his music's cute. Hey, Wolfman! A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for human were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around his ankle, or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet and the monster uncrosses his long legs. Bro, he's cute. Like, his hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curls around his collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Didn't you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the Wick's drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. Hey, he stole my key! Also, whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, his leg, his thigh, whoa! That thigh! That fucking thigh! Whoa, 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 okay, that's too loot. That's too... With a flourish of his hand, my in-room key appears dangling from his finger. It turns on his chain, glittering when it catches the light. My hands fly to my cloak's pockets and, sure enough, find them flat. He crooks his finger, beckoning. Oh, stop. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels... Something feels wrong. I'm still on the edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edges of my vision. I always attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Who said that's my key? Where did you find it? We gotta bluff. We gotta bluff the one who's basically a manipulator. Sap, Okay, but that fucking thigh? Oh, and it's only on one leg? That's so fucking hot. Who said that's my key? Who said that key's mine? He smiles wide enough to reveal pointed canine. Stop, I'm weak. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. City like this, somebody might take advantage. A bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key, and I need it back. I approach the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. Oh, no! His ears move, stop! Oh, he's showing off washboard abs. Sorry, I think you're good, Reed. I feel like I can clean a whole king-size bedsheet over his abdomen. So true, Saf, not a furry Noma going feral. Okay, but he's so fucking cute. The strain. Also, he's wearing a collar with a chain on it, and it looks like that thing goes over his fucking booba. Huh? No, this is a mistake to play this game. The stranger's chain softly clinks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Yeah, please flick your ears, please. Keeping your distance? I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. Oh, he's so caught. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? Dude, his eyes are so pretty! Dots. He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. Ew. Down, no! The leather's barely hiding. Oh, you're right. Good with hands. Stop! I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. Oh no, stop! The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I stepped into that shadow, I feel something other than dread. My face grows hot. Oh no, I'm actually like blushing a little though, for real. Hold on. I can fix this. Put a blush on. Breathe, Sam, breathe. No, that's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. Where's sex? Guys, I can't do this. Where's sex for my where's sex? Oh, where's sex my trade? Oh, I fucking read that wrong. Where's sex my trade? I might make an exception for you. How about half up or a handy? Or you could just hand over the key. Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug his tail. Just throw it here, so some spittly little street urchin can snatch it and run. He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. Sam, totally say something about What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen, I wonder? He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Bro's just giving me the L. Dagger's sharp eyes flick towards me. They gleam with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. I mean... Listen, I may be a monster fucker, but like, I kind of... Okay, you know what? Maybe I did sign up for that when I played this game, but like, by now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever heard of. Yeah, Saf is gone. Dude, this game fucking checks my boxes. Oh man, the V of his waist. Oh my god, I didn't even noticed. Turn him down. Flip back! Flip back! How'd you know that I spent all my money, starved, and nearly died in the swamp just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I saw? That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? I have been told subtlety's not my strength. So, your place or my— Holy shit! Wait, he actually wants to do the snoo-snoo? The woohoo? The whoop-pow? I need to stop. I'd invite you if I had my key. If only I had my key, then I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we'll go together. My God, this guy wants to fuck so bad. Why? What does he gain out of it? The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some sort kind of trap. Of course it's a trap. He doesn't want to fuck you for free. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard, unless you beg me. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo. He's one of those fucks. This guy knows what he's capable of. That's dangerous, yeah, for real. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling, do I say troupe? Performing in Hightown tonight. The ludus is utterly exquisite. Truly a performance to die for. Hopefully you don't mean that literally. There's life in this dreadful place, if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The man's gaze flickers from me to the key dangling from his finger. Naturally, the stump was little more than a miserable little smear when I first arrived. High town, low town, I know Aridia like the back of my hand. What about the Synovium? Do you know where that is? Everyone fucking hates the Synovium here. Oh wait, I got a better one? What do you mean a better one? His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it. That absurdly large tower looming over the rest? It's a little hard to miss. He must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Aridia. The Synovium's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things those stuffy boars and their limp dick. I can show you things those stuffy boars and their limp dick tower couldn't even dream of. I've already got plans. Oh, have you some pressing matters at the Synovium? Lunch dates with librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's the matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his tedious game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for the key, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Oh no. Please not be the one where my arm's fucking ruined. Man news didn't reach the MC, huh? Expected to lean a little to the left. Wait, what? No! Swimmer, what? Hey! He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them, even as his fingers dig into my arm. Oh, his eyes changed. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of death in the road. And that fucking doctor. Whoa, what do you got against the doctor? His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Holy shit, is he gonna bite my neck? Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a deep whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Not quite human, not quite monster. Seems we're both... there? The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists around to watch a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her pressed uniform marks her as a cleric of the Synovium. I leave you for all of what? 10 minutes and you're making trouble again. Will you quit harassing the tourists? The stranger, Ver I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. I would have tugged that chain! I mean, honestly, so true. Lick! So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me and his tail swishes minutely. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Ver cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger's drawn to you like a moth to flame. It will always find you given time. The woman clucks her tongue as though she's heard this recital 102 times. A word of advice. Don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a wilting look from Ver. Hell, please. Any friend of yours knows this true. Now hold still. Ver rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing a long line of his neck. And suddenly, it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his collar, but a leash! A heavy iron chain wound around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Ver posed deliberately to hide his leash from me. The woman produces a key ring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it into the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little soulless hunt. They're hunting for solace inside the city? Words momentarily fail me. The woman regards me with a polite, if tight, smile before marching down the stairs. Ver lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens while he arches his back. Your little secret safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed. Ver hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily, as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The Loventian knot? That the one where you take 3 fingers and... Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting. I mean, I don't know. If I hear anything about knots from fucking Fox Boy, I don't trust that shit. Nah, yeah, exactly. Not? Ver's airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight that I realized I'm still missing something. Wait. Reflexively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it. The room key. I pull it out of my pocket and raise it to the light just to be sure. A nagging feeling distracts from my relief. I don't know what Ver's game was, or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the Synovium saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share, if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns gently swaying in the breeze to the Synovium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, then I can put this all behind me. This time the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. I don't know, if you lose your whole coin purse, you lose everything. I don't know if that's safe, but sure. Yeah, bad thoughts. I didn't know this VN also had Omega Verse. No! It's easy enough to follow the sluggish river that splits Aridia in two. A colossal bridge arches over the dark water below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing ever uphill toward the distant tower. I'm gonna drink some water, hold on. Ooh, this is pretty. Hours later, legs aching, that's sweet, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally find what I was searching for. The Synovium of the luminous void. It stands at the highest point of Aridia, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massive tower in their midst. And I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up and up until the top of the Synovium tower disappears into the clouds overhead. My stomach gives an uneasy lurch. Though far grander than the humble shrine of my youth, the Synovium gives the same impression of being a gilded birdcage. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral vision. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine, as if testing its strength. "Boy, you there!" The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it, and a gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the step towards me. "Ugh, another tourist! Get out of here once you're done gawking!" A dismissive wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without even waiting for an answer from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing, just the leaves blowing gently in a cool breeze. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. "Hello." A whisper, so close I can feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one beside me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gaunt as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off her, not because of the way she smiles a little too wildly, or the way her tousled braids looked unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine a vibrant, unnatural crimson. I'm both entranced and unsettled by their subtle glow. These days, you need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure how to respond, or if I even should. Her gaze is uncomfortably fixed on me, heavy as lead. Oh, what was the history of this? You need a miracle to get in there, say nothing, or respond sarcastically. I think the smart thing here is to say nothing, but say, well, you know what? Let's respond sarcastically. What could go wrong with potentially angering a ghost? It seems like I'm in the market for a miracle. Know anyone selling? She beams at me like I've said the greatest thing she's ever heard. Lucky for you, I have them for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps into my path. She turns her back to me, and before I can react, she slips her fingers under the lacing of her collar, stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. What are you? As worn fabric unveils bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen, sunken scar carves into the woman's body. Pitted, gnarled skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? Whatever disease this woman had ate away at her from the inside out. How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet... The power to cure anything can be yours too. The power of the sea spring. The woman slides back into her blouse and deftly laces it up. If I've caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. Without another glance, she leisurely strolls down the Synovium stairs, loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of her scar peeks out from under her collar. I stand there, wordless, until I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. This could be the stupidest decision of my life, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at the Synovium shut gates, then follow her down the steps. How about you don't follow the one who's been parasitized? I don't know, main character. We descend from the higher streets, leaving behind their gilded decadence as we cross the river. The wet, derelict districts feel more familiar to me, but the crimson-eyed woman takes me farther, then farther still, until I'm met with an all-too-familiar sight. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The city's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, and probably safer for it, but venturing beyond Aridia's walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, loud and involuntarily. I'd rather not. This is a setup. It's a setup, bitch! Okay, hold on. Save here. I'd rather not. Are you kidding? It's not safe out there. You're as safe inside the city as outside of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. What do you mean, territory? This region belongs to Eyes. Most people know him as a gang leader, but he's much more than that. Dots. I squint against the empty wastelands. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently, I'm both. But if the sea spring cured her, I need to see what it can do for me. I mean, I don't know if I want this kind of cure. I set off into the wastes. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, Saphera. I hope we meet again. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. It doesn't take me long to realize it's not the only heartbeat I hear. Like a nagging thought at the back of my mind, I can sense another pulse thrumming through the earth beneath my feet. I felt this presence before, when I first stepped out of Kuras's clinic, a living dread coursing underneath the city. Only this time, I'm getting closer to it. For what seems like an eternity, I forced each foot forward, one step, then another, until a realization hits me. I never told the woman my name. Yeah, I was gonna be like, wait, I don't remember telling her my name, but I was kind of like, oh, maybe I just forgot. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me. A building nestled into a tall cliffside, but so starkly out of place it might as well be a hallucination. It drips with extravagance and honeyed mahogany, an ornate jewel of architecture. A row of dark silhouettes stand out on the horizon. Trees, I think, and so I'm close enough to realize that what I mistook for branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless, several of them watch in the distance like statues. I just run. Exploding into a messy sprint, I push my legs as fast as they'll take me toward that decorated building. Okay, but why would you go in the decorated building? That seems like a trap too. Flashes of last night chase me, the gushes of blood and screams of death, the smell of burning flesh and sour bile. I can't go through that again. I won't. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through towering double doors. Where the hell did I land up in? I gasp for air, my lungs burning from exertion. I'm desperate to be safe, but when I process my surroundings, it's more hellscape than sanctuary. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid, unholy red. Instinctively, my hand leaps to my mouth. But the rotten stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears. This has to be the sea spring, the place that grants miracles. Pulling my eyes away from the pool, I take in the rest of my environment. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in white and written notes. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. Stay silent! I approach the paper-covered pillars. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for the topmost, the closest one, or the bottommost. Let's go with the closest one. I reach for a note in front of me. It reads, "Dear Mother, don't cry for me. I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye, but we'll meet again in another life. I love you very much. From Iris. P.S. If you ever see me, never speak to me again." It's written in perfect cursive. I've never seen such beautiful handwriting. Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty. Vacant. Also, this is what it looks like, by the way, in case anyone was curious. Very red. Finally, I look towards the sea spring. That stillness hides something deeper. Something wrong. Something familiar. It's watching me. Hey! I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly, all different sizes and species but sharing one identical trait, glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but my heel teeters over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your step. It's deeper than it looks. That voice again. At the sound of it, the soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. Whoa, 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 whoa! I search for the voice's source and find it above me, lounging in the rafters. Almost a crotch shot? Oh no, he's hot too! You look lost, little sparrow. Oh, I'm weak for those eyes. I'm weak for those eyes. His gaze is a violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. Also, does he have tentacles in the back? Is that tentacles in the back? Or that's tentacles in the background. The same eyes I've seen over and over. First with the scarred woman, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by the sea spring's blood red. And the shroud of darkness behind him, shapes like massive tentacles twist and coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus. The soulless's growls ring in my ears. They're not advancing. Oh, hi, Sandals. But that could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat as I struggle to track them. Hey. Eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? I'm distracted. Fuck you! I do it. Fuck you! I look right into his unnerving eyes, holding his gaze defiantly. Fuck you. Is that better? Hell yeah, me, let's go! A crooked grin cracks across his face. Oh, his name is just Bastard! Also, best friend arms at the back is A+. Wait, what? We'll work on it. I scan the soulless again. They really aren't attacking, posturing more than anything else, almost as if they're waiting for commands. Did you tame them? The power of the sea spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-committal shrug. Expecting mercy was your first mistake. My voice stops in my throat. This man's terse coolness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for a way to defuse the situation. I need help. Tell me what you want. I need help. Okay, fine. I need help. I thought the sea spring could cure me somehow. My voice wavers pathetically. Honesty has never been my strong suit. He cants his head to the side, appraising me, but doesn't respond. I fidget nervously. I'm telling you, I came here for help. Are you listening? Your hands. Alarm jolts through me. I hide my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp huff, I reluctantly hold out my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap them. He rushes to my face and fires to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my mind, but not when his soulless are one command from ripping me to shreds. Yeah, no matter how much I will myself to move, my body is frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath the wrappings all too well, the hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grip the edge of the bandages. Stop. With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, with an imposing figure that towers over me. I couldn't tell how tall he was before, but he's big. Illuminated by lantern light, his features are stronger, sharper. Oh, so thick. Subtle clinks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards and find nothing to set my foot on. I had forgotten my back was to the sea spring. I fall right before a warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the sea spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing crimson eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to the solid ground and steps back. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the soulless around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer on the rafters, though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I exhale a breath of relief. Thanks. Oh, you look so cute here, Noel. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkways, checks the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden disregard is almost insulting. So that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why'd you threaten me? And people get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I drag a hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. Your eyes, aren't you? Depends who's asking. One of your friends told me this was your territory. She also said that you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Eyes picks up the kettle and walks to the edge of the sea spring, then dumps out the contents into the endless red. Gang took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches across his face, ear to ear. Then in an instant it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask about his gang again. You said you came here for help. Depends. Can the sea spring cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. He shakes out the empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. You being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow. The sea spring can cure anything. Nothing's stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? Drink. I have to drink from the sea spring? My eyes glide to the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the strange liquid makes my guts churn. Is there a price? Always. Eyes taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. That's it? Might have already beat it to the punch. My humor earns me an amused, feigned grin. This is a little different. When you drink from the sea spring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone else who ever drank before. Humans, monsters, soulless. One big happy family in your head. My blood runs cold. I've heard of these before. Group minds. My attendants used to tell me that my power grants people access to a higher plane of understanding. A group mind of my own making. All lies. But something tells me this is real, even if one thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Eyes strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Came on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There are still so many questions burning on the tip of my tongue, but my frustration spills out before any of them. I was told to come here for help, but instead I get threatened and kicked out. You're joking, right? Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. My skin prickles. The feeling of being watched washes over me again. My eyes dart back over to the sea spring. A lone ripple dances on the quiet surface. I take Eyes' advice and clamp my mouth shut. Eyes approaches a nearby soulless, a lanky dog-like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of crimson eyes adorn its sides. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Eyes squats beside it. He runs his finger through the tendrils, scratches his chin, and pats his head. A gentle smile plays across Eyes' lips. The affection he holds for the soulless is painfully clear. I dip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. Following a short whistle from Eyes' lips, it trots over to the entrance obediently, tail swaying. I watch the soulless warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it, and the idea of it protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how should I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine. They'll point you in the right direction. But think it over. Once you drink, you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I give it a small nod. At least I now know I have another option for a cure, as disturbing as it may be. I follow the soulless at a measured distance and watch it nudge the giant doors open with ease. When I am about to cross the threshold, I sneak one last glance behind me. My heart skips when I meet Eyes' eyes. I'm about to snap my head away, but he just flashes me an easy smile. Until next time, Sparrow. I'll buy you a drink for scaring you. I don't trust myself to do anything but respond with another curt nod. So they said this is the prologue, right? So it's like when the game comes out, do you basically just choose one boy to like go through the entire rest of the story with? Outside, more crimson-eyed soulless scuttle about. It's hard to believe. It's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles, roll around in the bog's mud. They pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. It's an uneventful trip. Sometimes the soulless looks over its shoulder at me to make sure I'm still following. Dusk darkens the sky by the time we reach the city. I can't sense that massive heartbeat anymore. Maybe it was all in my head. The soulless sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. I want to pet it. Can I pet it? I want to pet it. I want to pet it. It's a cute doggo, right? Pet the doggo. As nervous as I am, I carefully glide my fingers through the soulless's tendrils and scratch beneath his chin, just like Eyes had. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with the sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the soulless spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. It's barely my first day in Aridia, and I've already encountered so many things I thought were impossible, tamed soulless being one of them. My head spins. Maybe I should call it a day. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Aridia. The city, labyrinthine even in daytime, has become a warren of treacherous alleyways. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city abandoned. I made my way through the winding streets, doing my best to keep my bearing towards the wet wick. My step slows when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? I'm imagining things. Something is wrong. Something's wrong! The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. My eyes dart from one side of the street to the other, searching for movement, but the shadows are as deep and dark as pools of ink, and I see nothing. Darn my human eyes! I can't stay here. I need to reach a busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there is only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder. Maybe I really did imagine that noise. Well, I heard a whisper, though. I turn the next corner and my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. The soulless that attacked the caravan. It's crouched over a dark, indistinct shape. A body. A garland of intestines spills from pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestones. For a mercy, the soulless is too distracted by its meal to have noticed me. My feet feel as heavy as stones, but I can't just stand here. Finally, the hot things show. No. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet, slurping sounds don't abate, I take another. Then another. Then a shard of glass crunches underneath my heel. Of course it's a shard of glass! The world seemed to slow to a crawl as the soulless raises its head, blood dripping from his tendrils, every single one of his bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's come back for me. Run! I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, a piercing bay splits the silence and heavy footfalls pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear its breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arm swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflexes, skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way. A dead end. When I turn around, the soulless looms in the entry to the alleyway. It's no longer running. It doesn't have to. As I prowls closer, my thoughts race. Some of the buildings lining the streets are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but... both of these sound like terrible ideas. Scream for help! Somebody help me! My voice rings through the shadowed streets. Silhouettes pass by the windows, but nobody answers. In this wretched world, few people will stick their neck out to help their own flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. The soulless, provoked by my shouting, gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestones betray me. I fall sprawling over the rough stone. As the soulless looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. Did I die already? But the impact never comes, oh thank fuck. I warily crack one eye open, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. Hello, sir. They are beautiful, even if they're coated in blood. Moonlight silvers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and the soulless. My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind them. The soulless's many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under its body. Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. It's dead. After all the people it's killed, after nearly killing me twice. I could hardly believe it. Well, I gingerly take the offered hand. The stranger's gaze dips to my bandages. Pale lips part on the brink of a question, then closes again. With a strength belying their slight frame, they pull me to my feet. Something about them is strange, unlike any human or monster I've ever met. I can't quite place my finger on why. As soon as I'm on my own 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood from their face and hands. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the soulless's gangly body. With their back towards me, I realize I saw their hooded silhouette at the Synovium. You're at the Synovium. You saved me. You're shorter than I thought. That's a good way to piss somebody off. You're at the Synovium. I've seen you before. You were at the Synovium earlier, weren't you? They cast a wary look at me. So what if I was? Their harsh response takes me back. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? Yes, do look at me sternly, thank you. This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they saved me, and now they scold me? Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture, though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the soulless's corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Saphera. Min. Suddenly, Min tenses. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the back of the soulless's neck. The soulless thrashes once, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper, until there's a sickening crunch, and the creature goes limp. My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade in a single smooth motion. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. I swallow, my eyes still glued to the cooling corpse. Why is the soulless inside the city? Min looks at me, eyes searching, before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Soulless can come and go as they please, until someone is contracted to stop them. The Synovium's patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the Synovium. I wouldn't go that far. Their brow abruptly furrows, and they sheath their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? You're making an unbearable racket. Next time you walk into a Solus's claws, at least die quietly. The answer is stingingly harsh. You know what? Fine. I just need to find my lodgings. I hold my hands up, trying to forestall any more snippy comments. Alright, I get it. I'd love to get out of your way, but I'm sort of lost. I just need directions back to my lodgings. What makes you think I'll help you? You've already helped me once tonight. Why not a second time? That seems to catch them off guard. Their brow knits and they look away, scowling. How troublesome. Saphera? Oh. I turn, surprised by the voice. Kuras walks down the street towards us. His white and gold clothing is pristine, despite the grime of the city. Hello, Min. I see that Solus was your work. Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way they regard each other. You know them, Kuras? I didn't know you had friends, Min. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, I have to choose now? I didn't know you had friends, Min. Actually, you know them, Kuras? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They are quite reliable. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. Saphera needs to get back to wherever she's staying before she wanders into the jaws of another Solus. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Saphera? I'm staying at the Wet Wick. Both their faces fall. I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about alleyways. That would be nice. Min clicks their tongue and sighs, sounding mightily put out. I'm going to the Amaryllis district, that gaudy cesspit. Come this way. Despite Min's clear distaste, when Kuras leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glance, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Kuras is the only doctor worth a damn in this place. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Min gives me is answer enough. I catch Kuras hiding a slight smile. I suppress a sigh and resign myself to having a grumpy shadow all the way back to the Wet Wick. The route Kuras takes is completely different from my slow meandering earlier in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through darkened streets and twisting alleys. It seems like half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district's colorful streets. Laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the Wet Wick, as doors hang wide open, lanterns lit. Here we are. He moves towards the door and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Ugh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. They drag their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the tavern. As soon as the doors open, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Kuras stands out, easily a head taller than most. Even so, I nearly lose sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Pardon me. The crowd parts as though answering his request. Kuras glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through. How can anyone breathe in here? Min follows Kuras at a clipped pace. Leander is right where I left him, although he's traded places with the bartender. He holds a pair of shot glasses filled to the brim with luminous green liquid. And now for the finishing touch. A flash of magic paints the glasses white with frost. You're never gonna guess what's in these. Leander slides the glasses across the bar, and I get my third and fourth shocks of the evening in rapid succession. Eyes leans against the bar, an elbow propped up on the counter. He catches the glasses and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents, magically congealed, stay firmly in place. You're supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. Of course, everyone's here at the tavern. Why wouldn't they be? There, perched on the bar's counter, beside Eyes, takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his head. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers? Leander's nose treasure? You've eaten worse. Vere's lips twitch and his ears flatten when Eyes offers him a glass. He turns his cheek with a sniff, and Eyes just snickers. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually. In one fluid motion, Eyes throws back his head and downs the shot. Drinking that. A dark look crosses Eyes' face. It's chewy. Chewy! Wait, let me try again. Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. If it isn't Kuras and Min! At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Kuras sets a hand on their shoulder. I promise this will not take long. And Min's eyes dart from Kuras's hand to his face, then soften. Fine, you first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All of the people I've met today know each other. Good evening, Leander. Eyes. Another drinking competition, I presume? Oh, is it evening already? Could have sworn it was earlier. Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. Nothing to be afraid of. Kuras acknowledges Leander and Eyes with the slightest nod, ignoring Ver entirely. Not that Ver seems to mind. He tilts his head and an impish smile curves his lips when he spots Min looming silently behind Kuras. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seeds? Min pushes back their hood. They level Ver with a cool look. I thought Eyes wasn't allowed to bring his pets in here. Dude, I like the dynamics though. Ver's tail gives an angry twitch. At the first sign of an impending fight, Leander vaults clear over the counter. He slides in between Eyes and Kuras. Now, let's try and keep the peace. It's not every day the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm snakes around Kuras's shoulder. You're finally taking me up on that drink, right, Kuras? I'm afraid not. We were merely escorting Saphera back to our lodgings. Kuras gestures in my direction and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. As soon as he sees me, Leander's face brightens. Saphera! It's been too long! Everyone, this is Saphera! She's new to Aridia! I feel 5 pairs of eyes fixed onto me and suddenly the bar feels suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. Hi! Again! Hi everyone. Again. Wait, you've already met everyone? Oh, these two are so hot over here though, for real. Eyes and Ver level me with subtly amused expressions. Ver's tail gives a lazy wag. We did. Not that long ago either. I'm starting to suspect she's stalking me. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. This calls for drinks! What does everyone want? Look at all the hot dudes! Look at all the hot dudes! Okay, but Ver with this fucking thigh open though. What the fuck is this? What the fuck? Okay, if I had to choose any one of these dudes, I straight up have no idea. I have no idea what guy I would choose. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. I know what guy you choose. Oh yeah? Simply get them all. The one I want is dead? You wanted the guy that choked me out? Oh no! You wanted the one that fucking cut off my arm. I got it, Wolfman. Right. Simply get them all. You know what's so true? Gotta catch them all. But for the first time since I undertook the journey to Aridia, I feel a faint glimmer of hope. I know I was meant to meet them. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless thoughts. Ha! Well, come and be surprised. You make friends fast, Saphera. I wouldn't go that far. We're more like acquaintances? A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends you haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man, you said that. Here, last week. I can hear Min's lip curl with distaste from across the bar. Leander clears his throat and continues, unperturbed. Let's toast to Saphera's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Kuras politely declines with a wave of his hand. How about you, Min? No. Are you? No. A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn in the direction of the noise. Ver looks almost bashful as he accepts an overflowing flute from the bartender, poured from a bottle so old its label has been worn blank. They serve champagne here, since when? Ver pauses in the middle of licking champagne foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? In a transformation as impressive as his magic trick, the concern on Leander's face vanishes. He laughs softly. No, be my guest. I know you've got expensive taste. Then he shoots the bartender a frantic look. Unbothered or uninterested in his company, Eyes cants his head at me, a light smile on his lips. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink earlier. No, my treat. Eyes regards Leander over the lip of his glass. In the dim light, the glint in his crimson eyes look downright dangerous. What'll it be, Saphera? Yeah, I'll take that drink. I'll take you up on that drink, as long as it's not one of those green shots. Don't knock them till you've tried them. They taste better than they look. Somehow, I doubt that, but I hold my tongue long enough for Leander to go behind the bar. He's lying, isn't he? When I glance at Eyes, he only shrugs. Like I said, they're chewy. Probably poisoned, too. He considers his own drink a tumbler of amber-colored whiskey. Leander's tried to kill me a dozen times by now. That's always a gamble. Bear clicks his tongue in disapproval. When he finally looks my way, it's with half-lit gaze softened by his third glass of champagne. Where are you? I wouldn't let Leander put anything in my mouth. He fans his finger over his chest, voice dripping with fake reverence. The Wet Wick is one of the finest drinking establishments in all of Aridia. While you're here, you may as well partake in the signature watered-down drinks in the stale nut leather. He sweeps his hand toward a chipped ceramic bowl filled with spindly, speckled jerky that I can only assume is nut leather. What's with the food in the city? As abysmal as you make it sound, this place is completely packed. It's not all bad. Depending on the day, the food's edible. Eyes takes a measured sip of his drink. Gotta stick around for the real attractions, though. Before I can ask what he means, Leander returns with a tumbler that he sets in front of me. Uneven chunks of ice bob in the pool of reddish-purple alcohol. I sniff the drink suspiciously. To my relief, this time all I smell is the sharp, clean scent of gin with an undercurrent of fermented fruit. Nut leathers. Is that a real thing? Oh, wait, hold on, I clicked on this. Oh, dots. Relax, it's just a local specialty, club gin. Although if you're feeling more adventurous... I shake my head. Leander wraps his knuckles against the bar until the group falls silent. Alright everyone, let's toast! May Saphera's stay in Aridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers! Leander, Eyes, and Bear raise their glasses in unison. Men only crosses their arms and Kuras watches with polite indifference. I tip back my drink. The plum gin is eye-wateringly strong. Despite a sharp medicinal edge, it goes down smooth. One sip softens the edge of my vision. The next fades the din of the crowded bar into a low, persistent murmur. I find myself unwinding for what feels like the first time in years. Aren't you the popular one, Saphera? I'm guessing you met Kuras first. It would be more accurate to say that I found her. He saved my life. I merely performed my duty as a doctor. Although I must admit that I was confused when I woke up missing all my clothes. Leander makes a choked noise, somewhere behind a mint size. It's not what you think. Saphera was in grave condition. I could hardly treat such injuries through tattered clothes. The silence that follows stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Kuras' disappointment, and catch Ver snickering behind his hand. That's my cue to change the topic. Kuras isn't the only one who saved me today. Don't you listen, I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practiced ease, without so much as looking his way. As reliable as they are moody. You're one to talk, considering you neglected to warn her to stay off the streets at night. Oh, I might have gotten a little distracted. Min's only response is a short breath. At any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. Don't. The less soulless alive, the better. For a heartbeat, Min's eyes flick towards Eyes and their lips twist. Eyes is too busy nodding along to Ver's enthusiastic pantomime, stabbing to notice, lost no doubt in an enthralling discussion. I've had enough of this hellhole. Let's go. Min and Kuras share a brief look, then the doctor speaks up. Very well, but there is something that I must discuss with Leander, if you'll excuse us, Saphera. And just like that, the three of them departs, leaving me alone to savor my gin in silence. Or so I think until I hear a voice so soft and low it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide. I turn to find crimson and pink eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that they chose the instant the others left to strike. Just my luck. I had to be abandoned with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monsters or not, there's no telling what I'll do if either of them push me again. Don't tell me Leander already snuck off to get his knob slobbered out back. he's just so, oh my god. I can't even, holy shit. He's got business with Kuras and Min. Oh, I didn't mean to do this. Return. 2-on-1 business, isn't he lucky? I can't tell if it's the champagne or the company, but Vera's grown noticeably more relaxed. Also more lewd. I feel like Vera would be like really treading the TOS. Like if going down his route, holy shit. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His ears twitch whenever a hiccup shakes his shoulders. Why are you so far away? Come, join us. He passes the empty bar stool beside Eyes, but I hesitate. The smile Vera wears is sweet and distinctly sly, and with drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Eyes will mess with me next. Wait, don't bite. I'm not sure about that. Just hours ago, he tried to rob me, and you threatened me. Me? Steal? Surely you must be mistaken. You sure it was me? Yes, it was you, and then you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking. He gives another one of his shrugs. I was lonely. A simpler answer than I expected, but I guess I can't fault him for that. Vera suddenly slumps forward, gossamer sleeves pulling where he rests his elbows on his knees. Eyes sets his hand on Vera's waist, narrowly preventing him from tipping off the counter. How about we start fresh? Begin with proper introductions, get off on the right foot and whatnot. I'll start. My name's Vera, hunter extraordinaire. Vera's right hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching when hair falls into his eyes. Eyes doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn now. It's Saphera. Vera considers me for a long moment, his tail idly swaying behind him. Then he knocks back the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Saphera. He says my name slowly and deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. Eyes smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Something funny? Nope. I open my mouth and close it just as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game. While their sharp cat-like eyes keep me on edge, something about this tension is fun. It must be the gin. A flash of white over Eyes' shoulder catches my eye. Across the bar, Kuras heads for the door. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let him leave without saying goodbye. I'll be back. Vera hums and wags his fingers at me as I leave. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, but just as I am nearing Kuras. Gah! I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck thicker than both my thighs. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shit stain! I didn't expect to get called shit stain. My words spill out on their own. You watch it. I regret them as soon as they leave my mouth. That fucking gin! The roughneck wheels around, shoving a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What did you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see the roughneck bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? The roughneck freezes, his fist cocked back. A group of bloodhounds called by the commotion circle him, sizing him up. For what feels like an agonizingly long moment, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs and spits on the floor next to me. The lob narrowly misses my cheek. Screw it! Too many freaks in the circus tonight! He turns his back on me. and comes face to face with Eyes. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. Eyes' fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gasps, shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet right as the frantic crowd swarms around me, cutting off my sight of everything and everyone. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, "Hey, hey, Eyes, take it outside! Ignore them, everyone! Look, drinks are on me!" With those 4 words, the wick erupts with hoots and hollers. The ring around me disperses as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. Through the thinning crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. Eyes vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. Kuras lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. Min draws their hood up tight as they slip out a side door, while Ver leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine from behind the bar. And Leander, seated at the opposite end of the bar, gestures dramatically and apologetically at the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize that there's no telling when or if I'll see any of them again. Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight. I follow. Ha 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 ha! No no no! Okay, save. Oh, this is a hard choice, besties! This is a hard choice for me, besties! Who do I go for first? Oh, man. Eyes? You want me to fucking lose my mind and drink the fucking the cultist water? I don't know if I want that cultist water. Seems kind of intimidating. Mind break is Read. Read fucking sus. Okay. I'm gonna go with Kuras first. I saved beforehand anyway. It's fine. We'll come back here. Hot on Kuras' heels, I squeeze my way out of the bar. Of everyone I've met, he seems the most likely to help me, and the least likely to murder me on a whim. Earlier this morning, he said I could go to the clinic for help whenever I needed it. Time to see if that promise was actually worth anything. I breathe a sigh of relief once I'm free of the crowded bar. Kuras, hearing me, turns my way. Saphera, you seem upset. I take it the Amaryllis district is not to your liking. If nothing else, it's wildly different from the secluded temple where I spend most of my days. Read as a play. Y'all sus. Chat sus. That's not why I stepped out. You are not in need of treatment after that fall, are you? I scowl up at him and he holds out his hands in a mollifying gesture. I apologize, Saphera. Please continue. About time. Someone cuts right across me toward Kuras, stopping both of us in the middle of the street. Even in the dim pink haze that seemed to blanket everything, there's no mistaking the pressed white uniform and stiffly starched hat. Another Synovium cleric. I hastily step back, making myself as inconspicuous as possible. Can I help you? Nervous onlookers hastily part around Kuras and the cleric. The two form an island of white in a sea of teeming color. Enough, you know why I'm here. And I hope you find this edifying. Kuras reaches into his coat and produces 3 tiny glass vials, bound together with a thick leather cord. A silvery powder shimmers inside. He gently flicks the glass, watching the contents swirl, and extends the vials to the cleric. This is it. They look extremely unimpressed. Appearances can be deceiving. He throws me a glance and a swift smile, but I'm too surprised to respond. Kuras was the first to warn me about the Synovium. Nobody I met had anything good to say about them. And yet here he is, openly dealing with them in the Amaryllis district. I glance between Kuras and the cleric, who seems to notice me for the very first time. Humph! Good night. They bowed to Kuras, offered me an extremely perfunctory nod, and disappear into the seething crowd. Saphera, there's something amiss. What was that about? Isn't that dangerous? What was that about? Yeah, what was that all about? I'll lower your voice. It is of little consequence. That's all you have to say? After the earful you gave me about the Synovium, you... Shh. Be calm. He holds one finger to his lips, which suddenly curl in a cat-like smile. I know he's mischievous. For now, please join me on a short stroll. Kuras's golden eyes twinkle in the low lights. He beckons me away from the main thoroughfare, down a side street filled with vendors hawking late-night snacks. What? Wait! Now, powerfully curious in spite of myself, I hurry after Kuras. Each of his long, graceful strides is easily two of mine. I catch a glimpse of his gleaming white coat disappearing around the corner of the street. The moment I catch up, the delicious scents of freshly baked goods flood my nose. My stomach gives a loud rumble. One honey pistachio cookie, please. Got me right up! Without breaking his swift pace, Kuras plucks the sticky confection out of the merchant's hands and offers it to me. The heavenly smell makes my stomach rumble once more. I take a bite without hesitation. Kuras watches me with an indulgent smile, and I notice he hasn't gotten anything for himself. You're not hungry? You need not concern yourself with me. He stops mid-sentence, his eyes darting back the way we came. The hairs stick up on the back of my neck. I turn just enough to peek over my shoulder, hoping I don't look too suspicious. Sure enough, it's the same cleric who waylaid us in the street, now wearing a thunderously angry expression. Uh-oh. Well, disappointment can be a learning experience. Glimmers of realization dawn over me as I stare up at him. What exactly was in those vials? Perhaps a rare and potent chemical catalyst? Or some stale fish skin. The two do resemble one another, and it can be hard to tell them apart. Is he serious? I chance another glance at the cleric, who is now trying to elbow their way between the food stalls. A few people make way, but most don't even notice their efforts. The street is far too crowded with hungry patrons. Shall we? Without even waiting for a response from me, he glides swiftly into the crowd once more. You're messing with them? Is there a point to all this? You're messing with them. You're messing with a Synovium cleric? Such impolite behavior. I am astounded you would even suggest it. Kuras! I must still look incredulous because his smile softens a little. He lifts his hand as if to pat my shoulder, then stops himself. As I said, you have nothing to fear. He ducks into what looks like an abandoned doorway, but opens it to a small covered market. The stalls here are full of more spices than I knew existed. Even taking a short breath makes me sneeze. Kuras slows his pace, occasionally pausing to examine the insistent hawker's wares. Wait. He looks up from a display of livid red leaves, each as long as my forearm. You said I have nothing to fear, but everyone in Aridia seems wary of the Synovium. People fear the obvious trappings of power, wealth, force, or a hideously ostentatious tower. For my part, I find such trappings merely disappointing. The Synovium once had great potential. They squandered it decades ago in the pursuit of trinkets, pleasure, and petty tyranny. Their narrow, prosaic interests have rendered them blind to all else that moves. I think that's the most I've ever heard Kuras say on any topic. You sound like you know them well. Kuras lets out a long, low sigh. You miss little, Saphera. Familiarity breeds contempt, and I am more familiar with the Synovium's crude methods than I would like. Now I'm getting somewhere. Something beyond vague warnings or swift deflections. I decide to press the point while I have the chance. Familiar how? Kuras stops right in front of a display of pickled fruits, and I nearly run into his back. He steps aside at the last moment. His arm rests gently but firmly on my waist. I tense, but he's careful to avoid my bandaged hands. Our pursuer refuses to take no for an answer. Again? I thought we lost him in the crowd. I crane my neck to look for the cleric, but Kuras shakes his head. This way. The next street over seems to be home to the high-end brothels. It's full of steep stairways and shadowy passages, perfect for discreet trysts or losing a persistent tail. Pink curtains and painted facades sprawl around me like a giant colorful warren. It only takes a few more twists and turns down blind alleys and narrow walkways before I'm completely turned around. Kuras, however, seems to be following some map in his own mind. He takes each turn with swift confidence, guiding me with occasional nudge. The gaps between teetering buildings can hardly be called alleys. So narrow we have to pass through single file. Just a little further. The effortless grace with which he moves is almost infuriating. It takes every ounce of concentration I have to avoid tripping over loose tiles, discarded clothes, and unidentifiable rubbish. Meanwhile, his long legs almost seem to float over every obstacle. His clothes are completely pristine despite the soot-stained walls on either side. How the hell does he do it? I'm still trying to puzzle it out when I realized how warm it is, with me practically tripping on his heels. The tiny gap between us seems to radiate heat, like beating midday sun on the longest day of summer. Stay close. No, we're not falling back. That sounds like a terrible idea. Stay close to him. Stay close to him. I definitely don't want to get lost here. I stay as close to Kuras as I can without actually touching him. I promise, I will not lose you. Was I that obvious? Our eyes meet, and despite my best efforts, I find it hard to hold his gaze. Those golden eyes send hot pins and needles racing along my spine. It's not unpleasant, but I've never felt anything like it before. Thank you for indulging me, Saphera. I believe we have lost our trail. It's much quieter on the edges of the Amaryllis district, and the deals in the shadows look shadier. Did you enjoy your impromptu tour? Relief escapes me in a tired laugh. After the day I've had, playing keep away from a Synovium cleric seems almost normal. I wasn't in mortal peril, so that's a nice change of pace. He laughs too, a soft and pleasant chuckle completely at odds with his usual cool demeanor. Are you sure we've lost that cleric? If there is one thing you can count on, it is the elitism of the Synovium's finest. They will not deign to follow us this far. He sounds confident enough I was starting to wonder if we'd have to make a full circuit of the city to ditch them. Saf stares at Kuras. He's like Jolie plus Arjuna peak. Yeah. I can see it. Very hot. I like his long hair, okay. A boom of moonlight cuts through the clouds, casting his face into sharp relief. However, I should escort you back to your lodgings. It would be unwise to let you go alone. What about you? Are you staying at the Wet Wick? Of course not. Then you're going back to your clinic alone? You just said that it was a bad idea. He pauses, stares at me, then his expression relaxes into a gentle smile. Fear not, Saphera. Only the most desperate or foolish would dare lay a hand on me. It sounds insane after 2 near-death Solus encounters, but part of me believes him. The few people who are still out huddle beneath street lamps and in doorways, desperate to be as close to safety as possible. Kuras, on the other hand, looks more relaxed than I've ever seen him. He's strolling down the middle of the street, bold as if it were broad daylight. Even walking alongside him makes me feel more secure, warmer both inside and out. I hang on to that faint spark of hope and screw up my courage. Did you mean it this morning, when you said I could come back to you for help? Every word. All his earlier mirth vanishes, replaced by calm focus. Dots. I don't know what to say to that. I almost expected his offer to be a courtesy, an easy way to get me out the door. The fact that he meant it. Why do you ask? I believe I've already made my intention to help you quite clear. His eyes flick briefly to my arm, the one that he miraculously reattached when he found me. I can almost imagine him counting the neat stitches. I just wanted to make certain. I'm still figuring out who's trustworthy and who's trouble. I see. Aridia does tend to attract extreme individuals. Including you? Ah, Saphera. I decline to incriminate myself in your eyes. I can recognize a smooth deflection when I hear one, though if he won't talk more about himself, maybe he'll tell me about someone else. I decide to ask about... Oh, god damn it. There's so many choices to make here. Let's ask about... I'm curious about Ver. I'm the most curious about him. How do you know Ver? Kuras visibly stiffens, and I remember the venom in Ver's voice when he grabbed me. Oh shit, alright, Ver fucking hates me. Yeah, he did not like this dude touching me. That fucking doctor. It looks like the feeling is very much mutual. Regrettably, Ver is one of my worst patients. How did you cross his path? He stole my room key. You are fortunate that he did nothing else. He is far deadlier than he seems. There's a reason he is not at liberty, a reason for the collar and chain. He seemed pretty dodgy to me already. I hesitate, waiting for Kuras to elaborate, but he seems to find even the thought of Ver distasteful. Okay, what about eyes? Have you ever been out to see eyes at the sea spring? Once. Only once? It seems like you're like a spring with miraculous powers would interest the doctor. Hello, Oren. Unfortunately, this is an English-only stream. But, thank you for dropping by, question mark? I sure hope that whatever you typed in was not weird. But hope you're doing good. A long silence follows, so long that I'm not sure Kuras heard me. I'm about to repeat myself when he finally speaks in a near whisper. Eyes is the rare newcomer who has proven himself immediately worthy of respect. The sea spring is another matter. Hidden depths often contain unwelcome secrets. You can say that about anything around here. A fair point. Nonetheless, I have seen many purported wonders, and the sea spring is unlike any other. Only time will tell what that means. Hello from a Russian fan of this game. Oh yeah, I put it into Google Translate. Thank you for dropping by though, I appreciate it. But yeah, this is a good game. I like it, I like it. I also just realized I've been going for 2.5 hours. That's wild. Leander. Why'd you send me to Leander for help? Few know Aridia better than Leander. The company he keeps can be questionable, but I had confidence in him. Yeah, his bloodhounds seemed rough around the edges. Leander has always preferred the company of those like him. Survivors of Lowtown's harsh realities. You must have noticed how they flocked to him. I nod. He seemed to know every single person in Wetwick. And that's a good thing? Leander's closest peers trust him with their lives. I would say that counts for something. Min. You and Min sounded like you knew each other well. Kuras heaves a long, suffering sigh. I know them better than most, and less well than I would like. Like you, Min is a recent arrival. Their time here has been particularly difficult, as much as I would like to help. He trails off, but I know exactly what he's talking about. Min didn't seem like the sort of person who would accept help easily. Do they always pick fights that are twice their size? I have implored them not to. They rarely listen. With my curiosity sated for now, I fall silent. I wish Kuras had given me just a little more to go on, but he seems almost as tight-lipped about others as he is about himself. By the time we're back at the Wetwick, the Amaryllis district seems even noisier and more raucous than before. Drunken patrons overflow into the streets, which reek of spilt wine. How am I supposed to sleep with all of this racket? I suggest the stiffest drink at the bar. Alternatively, a ball of wax. Very funny. Even with how tired I am, I'm not sure I'll get a wink of sleep. I'm about to say goodnight to Kuras when someone staggers out of the Wetwick and right into me. I stumble back, heels teetering on the edge of the filthy gutter. Saphera! The next thing I know, a pair of warm arms catch me around the waist. I find myself staring up at Kuras, pressed against his chest. His grasp loosens, but he doesn't quite let me go. Something shifts in his gaze, his eyes fix on my face, and I feel myself growing hot all over at his intense scrutiny. What does he see in me? What's he looking for? Kuras? Ah, my apologies. Even after he moves away, the warmth of his touch lingers through my clothes. I quickly tug my cloak straight, trying to recollect my scattered thoughts. Good night. Thanks for everything today. You are most welcome. He turns and slips into the crowd, though I can pick out his pristine white coat with ease. A chilly gust howls down the street. When did it get so cold out? Whoa, wait, what do you mean choose my fate? Hold on, what? What do you mean choose my fate? What do you mean choose my fate? Kuras, the repentant angel. From all appearances, Kuras is a principal doctor of extraordinary skill. But you know little about the man beneath the professional mask, and Kuras keeps even his friends at a cool distance. If you uncover his deepest secrets, will you like what you find? The cursed outsider. Despite their cold nature and familiarity with violence, Min is just as desperate as you to get into the Synovium. You may be able to help each other, but they're keeping as many secrets as you. They claim they're dangerous, but could they be your only chance of getting into the Synovium? A demon renegade. An intimidating yet laid-back outsider. Saf could dedge from here. What does that mean? Presides over a sea spring with unnerving powers. He offers you a miracle, but the price means submitting yourself to the horrifying presence at the heart of the spring. Will you gaze into the abyss for answers, even at the risk of losing yourself? I don't know about that one. The heroic mage, Leander, offers you something that should be impossible. A taste of normalcy, free of your curse. As the first person to withstand your touch, you could change your life, but some things are simply too good to be true. Leander promises to help unravel your curse, but at what cost? There, the chained charlatan. There serves a warning of the dangers posed by the Synovium. As cunning as he is curious, Bear finds you fascinating and insists that he can help, but trusting him means entrusting a life to a collared beast with a lethal reputation. Can Bear protect you, or are you his honeyed words a trap? Or are his honeyed words a trap waiting to snap shut? He's gonna fucking kill me. Pick your fighter. Okay, but if I choose Kuras, what does that mean? Oh, okay. I think it's just giving him feedback. Be like, this is who I choose. Okay, well, I didn't get any hidden stuff. Honey trap, huh? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to the choice where we can split off. I will try to get through as many boys as I can, but I had no guarantees, you guys. Okay, so we did Kuras. Let's go with my next choice, which I think I'm really curious about. Min. Wait, what? That's the end of the game? This is the demo. This is just the prologue, so yeah. I can't let Min slip away so easily. They might be the most standoffish person I've met so far, but they're the only ones who seem even close to neutral on the Synovium. My gut tells me they know more about that tower than they're letting on. But yeah, also, alright, I'm Beige now, peace, alright? Take care, Cardboard, thank you for hanging out, I appreciate it. Will you get the full version? Yeah, but see, the full version, right now, it's currently in Kickstarter phase. So, you know, it's gonna be a while before the full version comes out. But I think I'll support the game. I think I'll support the game. I like the vibes it has so far. So I'm excited for it. And you know the best part is, by the time I get to play this game again, the full version, most likely, I'll be hot feet. I'll be a dude. That'll fit right in, at least model-wise. Voice-wise is impending, but it's fine. But anyway, Cardboard, get night, sleep well, sweet dreams, and keep it vibing. Take care, thank you for hanging out. The heart, thank you. By the time I make it out of the bar, they're already halfway down the street. Drawing my cloak close to ward off the chill, I hurry after them. But at this hour, the Amaryllis district is full of caressing people. While Min slips through the crowd with surprising agility, I struggle to keep pace. The edge of their cloak flutters as they round the corner. Determined to at least try and catch up, I take the same turn into a dim side street. But Min is nowhere to be seen. Didn't you learn your lesson earlier? I nearly jump out of my skin, whirling to find Min right behind me. They don't even look ruffled. They fold their arms, pointedly staring me down. I thought nearly getting eaten would teach you that being out alone at night is dangerous. I could be snarky. I'm not alone, am I? It's a good thing I'm not alone then, isn't it? Min looks at me in blank confusion for a moment before a realization dawns. They're blushy. They blushy! They blushy! I too must go. Don't bark too much. No guarantees, Wolfman. Thank you as well for hanging out. Good night, sleep well, sweet dreams, and keep it vibing. Or if you're doing work, good luck with work. Don't work too hard, though. Are you always so persistent? I don't really know how to read them. They shift between aggressive and hesitant without warning, and I have no idea how to tell which way they'll swing. But I can't help feeling a little thrill when pink sweeps across their cheeks. I kind of have to be. It's how I stay alive. Min recovers their composure quickly, their mouths shifting into a frown. They glance away, eyes sweeping across the street. You've been lucky so far, but it won't last. Nobody in the city is trustworthy. Not even you? Especially not me. I've met clams that open up more willingly than Min, but even if they don't talk about themselves much, they must have opinions about. Time to ask them about everybody. What's your opinion on the fucking fox boy that's gonna murder me, Bear? How did you meet Bear? Min's face scrunches like they just bitten into a rotten lemon. That perverse fleabag jumped me during Fogfall, so I stabbed him and left him in the gutter where he belongs. What? My heart thuds hard in my chest. Their voice is icy with disgust. The night air feels warm by comparison. It's only a shame it didn't stick. I suppose I'll just have to keep trying. I swallow hard, a sour feeling twisting in my stomach. I take it your opinion hasn't changed. My voice comes out a little shakier than I would like. They glance at me, and a flicker of something, guilt, flashes across their expression before it's buried by irritation. He fucks with people for kicks. Every sentence out of his mouth is either crass innuendo or a conceited put-down, and whatever he's done is bad enough that the Synovium has him on a leash. There are monsters living on every other street. He's the only one who needs a muzzle before he's taken out for a walk. Belatedly, I close my mouth. Holy shit! Men out here with spitting out facts! Eyes. You don't seem to like eyes. I don't like anyone, but especially not that bloodthirsty gangster. The words tumble from their mouth before I can even finish my sentence. Did he do something to you? Beyond existing? No, but I'm not waiting around to get hurt first. That sea spring he runs, with all those smiling red-eyed people, I suppose his one saving grace is that he hasn't forced anyone to drink from it. Yet. Monsters like him don't know or care about what they have. It makes me sick. Wait, don't know or care about what they have? Their voice echoes down the empty street, startling me. I blink, staring at them. You really don't like monsters, do you? Min fixes me with a flat gaze, their pale eyes like chips of ice. Every monster forced their way out of the shroud into this world for some reason. I may not know Eyes' reason, but to the vast majority of monsters, humans are food, playthings, or beneath notice. That may simply be their nature, but I don't have to like it. And I'm not going to risk my life in the hopes that any one of them is different. A lot of humans fear or hate monsters, but there's something different about how Min talks about them. It sounds personal. If you're going to keep asking questions, ask about something else. What about Leander? Leander seems fond of you. He's an idiot, an obnoxious blowhard who can't shut up to save his life. Their words are harsh, taken at face value, but it's at complete odds with the flush creeping across their cheekbones. Is that all? They huff. It seems to physically pain them to speak again. He does acceptable work. He pays on time, which is more than I can say for most, and his bloodhounds look after Lowtown. If he was capable of being quiet for more than 10 seconds at a time, he'd be almost tolerable. The tone grows almost fond, but then their brows draw together as they glare at me. But I'm not one of his bloodhounds. If he told you otherwise, he was talking out of his ass, as usual. He has work to offer, and sometimes I take it, that's all. Somehow, I doubt that, but Min seems disinclined to say more. Kuras. You and Kuras seem to get along, though. The tense lines of Min's features soften. He's an exception. Few people are willing to help others. Fewer when there's any risk involved. And of them, Kuras is unique. I have a feeling that Min doesn't smile often, but the curve of their lips, however slight, is unmistakable. They catch themselves, their expression closing off with a near-audible snap. He's not the worst. A decent doctor, even if he asks too many questions. But nothing is really free here. He didn't take any payment from me. He rarely does. That just means he's paying down the debt elsewhere. Doors bang open at the end of the street. Light and laughter pour out of the bar, followed by a group of giggling people in white uniforms. Synovium students having a night out in the town. Min hesitates only for a moment before they start down the street in the same direction as the students. When I follow close on their heels, they grimace, speaking through gritted teeth. Why are you still following me? When I ask them about Bear, I notice something odd, besides their vehement dislike of him. While men didn't exactly sound enthusiastic about the Synovium, they were the first to speak of it with anything besides open animosity. Ahead of us, the students pile into another bar. Min ducks into the alley next to it. If nobody in the city is trustworthy, what about the Synovium? The line of their narrow shoulders abruptly tenses. They lift their chins, giving me a wary look. Kuras must have warned you about the nature of the city's currency. Right. Information and secrets. I fidget, uncertain. I don't trust Min's unpredictable moods or all the things they clearly aren't saying. Their eyes dip towards my hands, passing over the bandages like a razor. The pressure light, but full of keen-edged possibility. I shiver, hastily shoving my hands into my pockets. They frown, but their gaze drifts away from me, to the window of the bar next to us. It's opaque, either frosted glass or caked in dust, but some of the warm light diffuses out into the alley. The Synovium is a place of learning. If someone has questions that can't be answered anywhere else, the Synovium might have the solution. Or at least, that's how it was once upon a time. These days, its doors are closed to outsiders. That's about what I expected to hear after how I was practically shooed off earlier. Just as I started to relax, they speak again. Whatever you're looking for there, the cost may be higher than you're willing to pay. The sheer hypocrisy of their words ticks me off. What gives you the right to talk when you're doing the same exact thing as me? What questions are you asking that only the Synovium can answer? That's personal. So there is something Min's looking for at the Synovium. I suppose that makes two of us. If they're following groups of Synovium students around, they must not be having much luck either. Everyone else seems to fear or hate the Synovium, but you don't. They flinch, spurred onward by curiosity, and by lingering annoyance, I press forward. You must know something about them. Oh, that was my B. You must know something about them. Something you haven't told Leander or Kuras. But they're not letting you in, which means you're one of the outsiders. Oh, they don't like that. In the space between one breath and the next, Min closes the distance between us. Slender fingers grip the front of my shirt and they slam me against the wall with shocking strength. The force of the movement knocks their hood back, messy hair flooding around their face. I'm standing on tiptoe. Min's lifted me nearly clear off the ground with a single hand. The realization sends an electric tingle down my spine, but before I can begin to wonder what that's about, Min snarls in my face. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. The angry twist of their mouth draws my eyes downward to the beauty spot at the corner of their lips. I can't seem to stop staring at it. Like I'm getting fucking pinned against the wall and all I can do is just stare at how beautiful they are. It's incongruously delicate compared to the fire in their gaze, the steel bone strength of their grip, but then so is the rest of them. What's your fucking problem? Alright, say for a second. Hold on. What are they? You don't know what you're fucking talking about, neither do you. I'll be like, what's your fucking problem? What's your fucking problem? I've had enough. Maybe it's the time fruitless day I've had. Maybe it's the 2 near-death experiences. Or maybe I'm just sick of all these infuriatingly attractive strangers who won't tell me a damn thing. Yeah, you tell them, MC. They still looked pissed, but they hesitate. Maybe they didn't expect me to snap back. You give me information, then snap at me and shove me around. What are you trying to do? You're one to talk, stumbling around town looking for answers, trying to get them without giving anything in return. That's not how things work around here. And it'll get you killed well before you figure out whatever is going on with your hands. I don't get angry easily. I can't afford to, and a moment of carelessness could be fatal. But when they mesh in my hands, my temper flares hot. That's rich, considering your whole I don't have any friends bullshit. Realization strikes me like a thunderclap. You're not getting anywhere by yourself either, are you? But you can't make yourself ask for help. You're stuck, and it's your own fault. I brace myself, expecting Min to snap at me again. Wow, I'm really just fucking picking a fight right now. Instead, their gaze drops, eyes falling away from my face. Their brows furrow in frustration, but the twist of their mouth is miserable. Their voice trembles almost imperceptibly when they speak. I know. The city only cares about what you can give or what it can take from you. Information, power, connections. If you're an outsider here, nobody will help you. Nobody will even try. You don't belong anywhere. My heart thuds in my chest for an entirely different reason now. They seem suddenly very small. Alone, like me. Min jerks backwards, releasing me so abruptly that I nearly stumble. Maybe they realized how close we were. Maybe they said too much. I feel like pressing forward is being a little bit too aggressive. I feel like the smart thing here is to let them go. But at the same time, I kind of want to be aggressive. Press forward! Determined not to let this go, I press forward. Min takes another step back, but this time they're the one with their back against the wall. Hell yeah, reverse the position, let's go! Look, we both want something from the Synovium, right? But neither of us are going to get anywhere on our own. We could help each other. It's worth a shot, don't you think? Min sighs. They sound annoyed, but any real hostility seems to have gone out of them. You've made it this far already. I'll grant you that. But if you're looking for help, you should look elsewhere. If you stay too close to me, you'll get hurt. Before I can think of what to say, the tavern doors bang open again. The Synovium students spill back out, considerably drunker. Their ranks seem to have swelled with the other barflies. The group floods back into town, towards that great tower, rising moonward. As I'm distracted by the commotion, Min slips away from me, drawing their hood up. I catch their eyes for just a moment, then they're gone, vanishing into the crowd. Interesting. Okay, well, if I click Min, are you just gonna say thank you for the play? Okay. Oh, okay. Alright, back over here. The next on the list is probably gonna be, let's go with Ver. Let's see how this fox boy fucks me up. Of all the people I've met, only one left with more questions than answers. Ver knows more than he's letting on, I'm certain of it. And if he's feeling as playful as he was earlier, I might be able to get information out of him. Still, lingering doubt looms heavy on my decision. Can I really trust someone who lies so readily? Returning to the bar is slow work with the heavy crowd vying for drinks. When I find Ver, he's leaning against the counter with his elbows propped on the edge and a wine glass raised to his lips. Not for the first time, I catch myself staring, and judging by the looks I see thrown his way, I'm not the only one. Yeah, there's a clear ring around Ver, so no one else seems bold enough to cross. One ear pricks at the sound of my approach, but Ver doesn't even so much as look my way when I slide onto the seat beside him. I didn't think you planned on sticking around. A free drink's a free drink, even if it tastes like rat piss. Didn't you say you wouldn't be caught dead slumming in the shithole? Ver takes a delicate sip from his glass, but his tail thrashes below the bar. You've caught me red-handed. He peers at me over the rim of his glass. In the low light, his eyes glitter jewel bright with amusement. However will you punish me? I figured my company's punishment enough for you. Ver's lips twitch and he smiles despite himself. So, you survived the night. Are you here for praise or will a head pat do? I feel a muscle in my jaw flex at the cruel twist to his smile. His arrogance has made a full recovery, meaning only one thing. Ver has sobered up. So much for my plan. About that. Turns out you are right. I did run into trouble. Now I can't decide if you're an oracle, or an actual threat, or just completely full of shit. Ver scoffs. Most women would buy me a drink before insulting me. After the way you jerked me around, if anyone's owed a drink, it's me. Ver falls so uncharacteristically quiet that for a moment I fear that I've actually crossed the line. Then he props his chin on his wrist. I don't think you'd understand how things work here. Information is a luxury, one you flung carelessly aside. I'm not following. If you valued my words, you'd have taken them seriously. I gave you free advice, warned you of the danger you were in, and you still went prancing off to the sea spring. Small wonder the Solus didn't tear you to ribbons. My first impulse is to argue, but what he said doesn't sit well with me. How does he know what happened to me? How'd you know that I... Wait. How'd you know that I left? how do you know I left Aridia? I have a very sensitive nose, remember? Right, how could I forget? Do you normally greet people by shoving your nose into their laps like an overeager Labrador? For a heartbeat, Bear's eyes grow wide and flat. Then he laughs under his breath. Only the ones I like. Bear trades his empty wine glass for a long abandoned tumbler sweating beside him. Soft lumps of ice bob in the watery dregs of whiskey. But the truth is, I despise most people. His eyes flicker over my shoulder and thin as Leander's boisterous laughter erupts from the other side of the bar. What about me, now that we started off on the right foot? He turns, angling so he can look me over. His gaze is agonizingly slow as it glides over me. Finally, his lips quirk. I haven't made up my mind about you, yet. It's a start, or so I think until his eyes slide away and he turns back towards the bar. It's not Vera's attitude that bothers me. No, I expected that of him. It's the fact that I've got no idea how I'm supposed to hold a conversation, much less get answers, when he's being so testy, and his foul mood is infectious. Did I do something to piss you off? He lets out a short breath. No. Another lie. I'm close enough to catch the subtle bristling of his tail. I'm just disappointed. People like us can't help but attract danger. And you seek it out for what? Cheap thrills? I wasn't trying to get eaten by soulless. There's something I'm looking for. You think men can help you? Leander, are you really willing to risk your life with those dipshits? What life? You've got no idea what I've gone through, or... Forget it. I start to rise, but... Vera touches my shoulder. It's a little more than a brush, but not enough to give me pause. His eyes search mine, softer somehow than before. They couldn't even begin to understand you, but I could. I could help you, if only you'd listen. How do I know I can trust you? You don't, but I'm slightly less inclined to waste your time with empty flattery or insults than those two. Dots. Is what you desire really worth risking your life for? If you knew the kind of life I've lived, you wouldn't be asking. Bear considers the condensation sweating from his glass for a long moment before speaking again. Will you trust me? Do I trust the manipulative fox boy? I feel like that's just asking for trouble. But you know what? For now. Good enough for me. Ver raises the tumbler to me and then snaps back the dregs. Once he's finished, he wipes his mouth on the back of his hand. Let's talk. Outside. If I have to smell Leander's skunky aftershave for much longer, I'll hurl. With that, he slips away from the bar, leaving me to follow the path of his long, trailing tail through the crowd. It's so cold outside, the breeze cuts clean through my bandages, freezing my fingers. But if the chill bothers Ver, he doesn't show it. He lopes purposefully down the street into an alley. This far from the wick, the bar's racket is little more than an indistinct hum. The streets as dead as the Amaryllis district was crowded. A vague sense of unease falls over me. You had questions? Ask. Ver's breath mists in the dark. In the cold moonlight, his shadow stretches unnaturally long over the cobblestone street. Quickly, I've got a show to attend. Heavenly lutist, as I'm sure I've mentioned. He looks down his nose at me, effortlessly imperious with one hand set on his hip, and for a breath I'm reminded of the stark want that gleamed in his eyes when he touched me. If he weren't so pretty, I'd walk away. But I need answers, and I can't think of a better way than starting with the people I met earlier. If Fair doesn't prove trustworthy, maybe one of them will. First, we'll ask about, what is your thoughts on eyes? I'd like to know more about eyes. You two seem close. He made an impression. Not surprising. He's strong, ruthless, easy on the eyes. Gives it almost as well as he takes it, even if he's awfully greedy. Big everywhere, really, huh, y'all? He's blushing! A bit simple, but you know what they say about still waters. I don't, but I'm too distracted by the change that's come over Bear to ask. A coy smile plays at his lips as he winds a finger around the chain dangling from his collar. I thought you didn't like most people. Eyes isn't most people. He's better. Eyes meet and Bear's tender expression curdles. He makes a tiny sound of distaste in the back of his throat. He's more trouble than he's worth. Dangerous, too. Stay far away from him and those red-eyed freaks if you value your safety or your sanity. Is that why you scolded me for going to the sea spring? I really don't think Eyes is as bad as you're saying. You don't know him. Not like I do. The corner of his lip twitches. Have you fucked everybody? I must know. Anyway, I'll save Kuras for last because he fucking hates his guts. Leander, what do you think about Leander? I don't. An unusually curt answer for Bear. I don't buy it. So you're not very fond of him? I want to spit on Leander if he were on fire. Bear shudders. Oh no, he'd enjoy that far too much. To call Leander trash would be an insult to manure. He's a pathetic, slimy little man-child in big shiny shoes. I've seen mutts running in gutters with far more dignity. I have to remember to close my mouth, my god. I love his insults. I've got to admit, I was surprised to see that you and Min know each other. Are you friends? Oh, yes. We laugh and go shopping and have sleepovers where we braid each other's hairs and kiss with a little tongue. I'm beginning to wonder if Bear's ever had friends. Let me guess, you don't like them. Can't stand them. The first time we met, they stabbed me. Slid cold hard steel between my ribs, nearly nicked my heart. It was exquisite. A knife, I mean. Some sort of antique. Min's done nothing but disappoint me ever since. So you're not close. Can you imagine me being friends with that crabby little killjoy? Impossible! Not unless they learn to lighten up. And I'm afraid not even a surgeon as practiced as Kuras can remove the stick wedged firmly up his bird ass. Before I can ask my next question, Bear gives a frustrated growl. Don't you dare ask me about another soul. I haven't got all night for idle gossip. But I wasn't finished asking. You get 2 more questions, make them count. So much for being helpful, but I suppose that's just how information works in this exhausting city. No more time for idle chatter, I'll get straight to the point. Leander told me that the Synovium imprisons people. Did he mean you? Well, I want to hear what he says about Kuras, though. Goddamn, okay, so I had to go back for this one. Leander tells me that Synovium imprisons people. Did he mean you? Leander's a moaning fool with a throbbing victim complex. He loves to see himself as a savior, but the only difference between his cronies and the Synovium stooges are the uniforms. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what surprises me more, the bluntness with which Bear spoke, or the venom lacing his ordinarily silken voice. You're asking who, when you should be asking why. Says the asshole counting my questions. The look he throws me is infuriatingly self-satisfied. Fine, why were you imprisoned? For the same reason they'll disappear you given half the chance. I'm something special. Bear bows his head, gathering his hair in his hands and lifting it from his shoulders to bear the plain leather collar adorning his neck. See this collar? He cranes his neck, inviting me to lean closer. Looks unremarkable, doesn't it? I had assumed that Bear's collar was a personal touch. On closer glance, the thick, supple leather is molded to fit his neck snugly. But the large silver buckle seems easy enough to pry open. I think touching the collar is a bad idea, but I sure go for it. I reach forward to touch the buckle, but Bear's hand lashes out. Long, slender fingers wrap around my wrist, exerting just enough pressure to hint at just how easily he can snap my bones. Don't you know better than to touch without asking? He tuts like a scolding teacher, but an impish smile grazes his lips. You didn't ask me first. Go back here really quick. You didn't ask me first. So why should I? Eyes meet and he grins. Because I said so. That's not very fair. Fuck fairness. Life's not fair. His voice lowers to a pleased rumble. Patience, Saphera. I'll tell you when and how you can touch me. Behave or I'll make you bleed. Oh my god. He says it with a smile so sweet it hurts. Is that a threat or a promise? I feel like So like okay. Despite me liking games like this, I actually don't play a whole lot of them. And I feel like his route is the problematic route. But it's like the straightforward problematic route. Like you know what you're getting into when you get into it. I feel like the one that they'll try to give the most twist on is gonna be Leander. Because I feel like Leander, he tries too good to be a goody two shoes. X? What do you mean X? You mean you doubt what I'm saying right now? I feel like Leander's the one that's gonna try to be like, oh, he's gonna be sweet, but in reality, he's like the fucking most fucked up one out of all of them. That's what I feel like. Or are you just Xing because you said I don't play a lot of these games? I actually don't. You think I have time to sit here and read visual novels? You're right though, Leander do have that feel, yeah. Cause like he seems the most normal of them all, but like in a fucked up story like this, you know the most normal one of them all is gonna be the most fucked up. Oh boy. I feel like in order of normalcy, I feel like Kuras is probably gonna be the most normal one. Eyes I think will actually be pretty straightforward. This is gonna be just the mindfuckery bullshit. Min is giving me the more, I don't know, because they're like the outcast of the group. So I feel like they're gonna be the more overarching for general plot kind of thing. Bear seems like the one that if you fuck up, he's gonna kill you. Like easily, just he's gonna kill you. The bad in is he fucks you up. Same characters are always bad, exactly. And Leander's the one that's like, they can seem fine, but they're actually like terribly broken inside. That's my predictions for how everything's gonna go. Of course, I could be proven wrong, you know, and the story's still in development, but that's the vibes everyone gives off to me. Bear doesn't answer me, but he lets go of my arm. I smooth down my bandages, more to get a grip than anything else. I can't lose my composure again. By now, I'd fully expected Bear to begin walking away, but the fact that he's still here suggests that he either forgot about his warning, or he was never counting my questions to begin with. Are you saying that's what'll happen if the Synovium finds out I'm different? I'll be collared? Doubtful. They keep me around because I'm the best at what I do. And what exactly do you do so well? Killing. He says it carelessly, without hesitation. As long as I wear this collar, I'm made to hunt the Synovium's dizzying array of enemies. Monsters, soulless, noisy dissidents who grow overbold. I'm bound by their will until the day I die. That's awful. Ver murmurs in agreement. It is, isn't it? And that's all you're gonna get from me. I really must leave now. I'll be late. That's it? Why did you bring me here if you weren't gonna explain anything? He has a nerve to laugh. Isn't that obvious? I wanted to lure you out here alone so I could eat you. You're lying again. And you're asking far too many questions for someone hiding so much. He sneers, and reflexively I shove my hands deep into my cloak. What makes you think I'm hiding anything? Bro, you got bandages on your hands. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the tough act or the way you tense up at the slightest provocation. More likely it's the bandages. Not exactly subtle. I'll be going, unless you're willing to share some morsels with me. There's a bitey edge to his playful tone. I can't tell you anything. Wrong. You can start with what you are. I take a step backwards, but... Oh dear. My back hits a wall. Oh, why am I always against a fucking wall? As Ver follows me into a lockstep, I turn only to find his left hand resting on the wall beside my head, caging me in. Coming on! Ver reaches for me. His fingers curl around my chin and lift, forcing me to meet his lit gaze. Would you believe me if I said that the eyes are the windows to the soul? His eyes are really pretty, I'm not gonna lie. My eyelid twitches. Cliché, I know, but let me tell you a little secret. Bear leans in until his lashes tickle my cheek and the warm, faintly spiced scent of his hair drowns out the stench of greasy cooking fires and chimney smoke. There's nothing you can hide from me. His voice is so low, so supple I can slip into it. You poor thing, misled by those you trusted most. You caused so much suffering unknowingly. I know that pain. I can help you forget it all. I swallow thickly. How could he possibly know? No, this must be some kind of trick. But for once, Ver isn't smiling. All that suffering has made your soul so irresistible. His piercing eyes pin me to the spot. The look on his face makes my blood run cold. I've seen it before. Traveling through the wastes, the lanterns would occasionally reveal carcasses picked clean by starving scavengers whose eyes shone in the dark with some ravenous hunger. Ver takes a shuddering breath. Dude, he wants to eat me. You're trembling. What if you and I went somewhere quieter, alone? Hold on. Okay, listen. I know the smart thing here is to resist. Get eaten! I'm sick of running, of hurting, suffering. Surrendering completely is the easiest thing I've ever done. Before I can finish, Bear hushes me. A gloved thumb runs across my lips, bringing the taste of leather when it dips into my mouth. Stop. He bends closer and closer. Through the gauzy veil of his hair, I see shadows spread in whirls of smoke, eddies of darkness peeling off the walls and blooming to blot out the moon. Sensation flees with the lights, leaving me numb to everything except the sudden pressure of a hand tightening around my throat. Stop trying to choke me out, my god! Oh, I'm dying. Something snaps and the bitter tang of copper floods my mouth. Ver's lips crush mine. Oh, he kissed me at least, as he swallows the reedy thread of my final breath. This time, death comes swiftly and permanently. Oh, I love dying. Okay. Okay, well. Alright. Okay, just resist him. But I'm not about to give up now. You're late. Lootist! Bear blinks. His voice comes out soft and breathy. Shame. He eases back, and for what feels like the first time since he cornered me, I breathe. But my relief is short-lived. Nimble fingers trail down my jaw before closing around my throat. The touch is feather-light and teasing, but my pulse still leaps. Bear's lips twitch into a smile, his wide-ringed pupils thinning with amusement. You're fun, Saphera, even if you frequently forget your place. But if you ever call me a dog again, I'll break you. Understand? When I narrow my eyes at him, he smiles wide enough to flash his sharp white fangs, as much a warning as a smirk. As soon as Ver releases me, I sink against the alley wall to catch my breath. He looks down on me, his expression distinctly smug. Let's get one thing straight. I ate a monster 3 times your size for breakfast. 2, actually. The first tasted dreadful, like a fisherman's old ashtray, but that's besides the point. You and I may be alike, but don't ever forget what I am or what I do best. He flashes me a dazzling smile. Saphera? Anyone see Saphera? Leander's voice echoes from the direction of the wick. I whip around. I nearly call back before remembering Ver's apparent distaste for Leander. I glance back at Ver. Only he's gone, vanished into the dark. I'm left in the deserted alley, trembling with a delirious mixture of exhaustion and excitement. Fuck. Yo, I think my main character's a little bit of a masochist. I let out a long, shaky exhale that condenses in the freezing air. Only once my racing heartbeat slows do I make my way back towards the wick, guided by the distant sound of Leander's voice. Okay. What gave you that idea? Gee, I wonder why. Okay. So let me go back, because I really want to see what he says about Kuras, because I'm really nosy. I'm nosy. So let's go back here. What happens if I just say yes? Yes. I nod and he rewards me with a small smile. Good. Alright, let's talk outside. Okay, skip. Okay, Kuras, I wanted to ask you about I regret speaking as soon as I start. Varys' Varys mentioned Kuras before, though not by name. His reaction last time was nasty, but I can't back down now, not with Var eyeing me suspiciously. About the doctor, Kuras. I tense, ready for a blowback, but Var only flicks his hand dismissively. A bit of a bore, if you ask me, but he's popular enough. You know, on account of his massive heart. He winks as though the stress he placed on heart wasn't already suggestive. Does everyone here just have massive dicks? There's always a lion wrapped around the block for his services. People can't seem to get enough of his special medicine. Probably because he doesn't charge anything. Var's tail gives an impatient twitch. Or they're eager for a little mouth-to-mouth with their pelvic examinations, if you get what I mean. When I grimace, Var grins wolfishly at me. There's clearly no point in asking anything about Kuras. You know what? No one else. I'm not talking about the people I've met. And good things too. The longer I talk, the further Var's attention strays. He keeps casting furtive glances down the street, his ears flicking at distant sounds and what can only interpret as growing impatience. I'll ask you about something else, okay? Okay, and then let me just see. Oh wait, hold on. I can't skip. Okay, let's do this other option. Can I please? Her eyes meet his thin with amusement. No, you may look, but don't touch. He lets go of my arm. I smooth down my bandages, blah blah blah. And then, okay, then he's still gonna do this. Resist. Spoken so softly that the pounding of my heart nearly drowns out his words. Call me a dog, I'll break you. Let's see. So this time I didn't ask for Leander. Does anything change here? No, nothing changes. Okay. Okay, back to loading. Back to the main one. Okay, so we went through 3 of the dudes. Let's go through eyes. We'll save Leander for last. Just because I feel like Leander's secretly the most fucked up one. Let's go get mind fucked. Except I don't think the mindfuckery is gonna happen in this one. I think that'll happen in the full game. Morbid curiosity draws me after eyes. I slink out the back of the wet wick. The alley's dead silent. Not really what I expected from a fight. A dull crunch reaches my ears, then a thud. I peer around the corner of the building, careful to keep hidden. Oh, did you kill him already? Dark, glistening red spatters the ground, spattering through the seams of the cobblestone. It guides my eye to a collapsed body across from me. Once so violent, the roughneck is now little more than a sack of crumpled flesh, blotted with mud. Eyes exhales, his breath misting against the cold air. Blood flecks his knuckles as he looms over the motionless body, his feet on either side of it. Fear spreads like ice in my bones. Moments ago he was joking and friendly with the others, but now... Ice's crimson eyes find me in the dark. Not running, Sparrow. I warily rise to my feet, moonlight illuminating my face. I thought I was out of sight. I got eyes in the back of my head. Does he mean that literally? That's kind of gross. I steps off the roughneck. My eyes stay locked on the body. It's wet with layers of blood and grime. Completely still. He's alive. Really? That's amazing. You sure? Calling me a killer or a liar? I don't think he's a liar. I can't. He's not a liar. He's a killer though. Killer. Must be scared. You won't hurt me. It comes out more like a question. His eyes flick down my body, then up again. Not like him, at least. Hey ho! His bloody knuckles catch his attention. He tries to rub them clean, but ends up smearing the blood around more. I keep making bad impressions on you. I didn't know you cared about my opinion. Just prefer you didn't piss yourself when we talk. Annoyance bubbles in my chest. Well, I'm not pissing myself, even with your bad impressions. Like the first time we met, Eyes chips away at my fear, replacing it with irritation instead. Eyes kneels beside the roughneck and frisks him. I can't help but wonder if the crime was worth the punishment, but I hold my tongue. Deftly eyes his hands search the roughneck's pockets. It doesn't take him long to find his prize, a cigarette and matchbox. He strikes a match. Sparks light up his angular features with a golden glow. It's distracting for a moment, but my gaze inevitably drops back to the muddy body. You're just gonna leave him there? Eyes draws deep from the cigarette. He exhales heavily, smoke curling past his lips. I breathe in the sweet, spiced scent of cloves. As his tension melts away, he looks at me with cool-lidded eyes. Should I give him a blanket? Unbothered by the maybe corpse, he takes a seat on the crate opposite the bar. I stand awkwardly, forgetting why I came out here in the first place. An unpleasant silence stretches between us. The weather's nice. Cold, murky, and humid, he means. I want to believe he's teasing me, but for all I know, this is pleasant for Aridia. Was Princess good company? Who? He takes another long drag. His metal ring catches the light of the cigarette in a flash of red. The soulless who escorted you back. You named it Princess? Jealous. I return his smile. You have no idea. I think your nickname's more fitting. Sparrow. Not sure where Eyes got it from. Maybe I should tell him to call me by my name, but it's kind of nice. Not that I ever tell him that. Before I can dissect my feelings, I quickly change the subject back to the soulless. She was cute. She was kind of cute, in a weird way. I glance absentmindedly at my hand, remembering how she nuzzled into my palm at my touch. Eyes softened for a brief moment. Her tail wouldn't stop going when she got back. The group of them don't get much attention. Think she's cute now? Oh, wait till you see her tricks. You taught her tricks? Princess is a smart one. She'll learn anything if you have the right rewards. Sounds about right. The idea of a tame soulless is so outlandish to me. I was mauled by a mindless, bloodthirsty beast, and he's talking about them like they're pets. But it's possible, all because of the sea spring. I need to get the answers he wouldn't give me before. I carefully take a seat beside him on the crate, contemplating my strategy. He doesn't seem to mind. He closes his eyes, tilts his head back against the wall, relaxed. Without the pressure of his intense gaze, I feel myself ease up too, as long as I keep my attention away from the bloody heap across from us. I glance over at Eyes and allow my eyes to linger. A sea glass-colored tattoo spirals up his arm, painting over grooves of muscle. Silver jewelry glints in the moonlight. It draws my eyes to his bare chest, rough hands, carved jaw. His ears, his horns, his pupils, everything about him is sharp, even the fangs that only shows when he grins. But my attention is drawn back to the tattoo. Something about it feels unnatural, as if the tendrils move when I'm not looking. What's your verdict? I whip my head in the opposite direction. Oh, what verdict? Got a long, good look. Are you impressed or do I need work? My face grows hot. I see what— You're annoying! You're annoying. He responds with a low chuckle draped in smoke. Didn't stop you from staring. My embarrassment spikes. Without thinking, I blurt out a change in topic. I have questions about the sea spring. Boredom eclipses his amusement in an instant, and he closes his eyes again. Of course you do. I thought I made myself clear what you'd be giving up. Before you kick me out to go drinking, I still need to know more. My turn for a question. It sounds more like an order than anything else. I bristle under his narrowed gaze. Fine. He takes a long pull from his cigarette and lets the smoke trail slowly from his lips. Your curse. What about it? This song and dance is all too familiar. The selfish questions come first. What does it do? Is it painful? Can he control it? I brace myself for the inevitable onslaught. Is the thought of living with it really so unbearable? My dread dies with his words. No one has asked me that before. You survived this long. Unless you're running out of time, I wonder if it's really worth the sacrifice. He flicks the cigarette aside and props his head on blood-smeared knuckles. But what do I know? I'm just an outsider. My fingers fuss with the trim of my cloak. Ordinarily, I'd feel annoyed, but now my chest feels tight. You could have sold me if you're less honest. You're a shit salesman. He laughs under his breath. Harsh words. We lapse into silence again. This time, it's surprisingly nice. The quiet, chilled air is a calming reprieve. You know, you didn't seem like an outsider back at the bar. A lot of people like you. Eyes raises a brow at me. I start by asking about... here, we're just gonna say just in case you decide to cut me off too. I don't think you will, but you know. We'll ask about, what's your thoughts on Leander? You and Leander clearly get along well. You like Leander? Doesn't everyone? He's helped me a lot since I arrived in Aridia. He even got me a free room at the Wick. His charm has gotten him far, but for a leader, he sure likes it when others take control. Part of me desperately wants to ask what he means, but Eyes continues before I get the chance. Surprised we get along? I thought you'd be at each other's throats instead of drinking buddies. His smile is easy, but there's a dangerous edge to it. Leander's done a good job, for a human. Naturally, there'll come a time when his resolve is tested. Same could be said for anyone in this plane or the next. As for my resolve, well... stick around in Aridia long enough and you'll find out. I nod slowly. I can't decide if it sounds like a promise or a threat. Got any more observations, Sparrow? Min! Maybe Min doesn't necessarily like you, but they definitely pay attention to you. Eyes' reaction takes me off guard. He growls, pinches the bridge of his nose, as exasperated as I've ever seen him. I make enemies as easily as I breathe, Sparrow. Doesn't bother me. But that Dove's got it out for me for no reason. Oh, he calls Min Dove. We're both birdies. Maybe they're unsettled by the sea spring? It's not about that. Goes without saying that they've got some issues. Don't think they'd understand that you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Honey has left a bad taste in my mouth in the past. It could be the same for them. At least you're capable of conversation. Do me a favor and teach the Dove some manners. Thought they'd laid off eventually if I didn't bite. Hasn't happened yet. I briefly consider the possibility that Min wants to get bitten. I'm not about to propose that though. Wait, what? Kuras. I didn't know that you and Kuras are friends. In a way, I help him in the clinic sometimes. Doctor doesn't let most people closer than arm's length. And you do? Hearts on my sleeve. Get the sense Kuras was like that in the past. Must have been burned. Interesting. He trails off after the last few words, then shrugs. He opens up in his own ways, if he's relaxed enough. I don't know how to even imagine that. You'd be surprised. Even the doctor has an endearing side. I can't decide what's more intriguing, the fact that Kuras has an endearing side, or the idea that Eyes has managed to coax it out of him. And tell me if you uncover any of his other secrets, I'd kill to know more. Bear. I was surprised to see that you and Bear are close. Blessing and a curse. From what I've gathered, most people think he's, I don't know, an asshole? And water's wet. I wait for him to elaborate or add his thoughts, but he doesn't. So, what do you like about him? He lets out a quiet laugh, as if amused by my question. A lot of things. You already named one. That he's an asshole? You like that he's an asshole? Temperament matches the drapes. Looks good in blood and better in tears. Whoa, 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 whoa. Unironically, I think I shipped those two. Favorite thing's the tail. Sometimes it frizzes up if you... He catches himself, clears his throat. It's hard to not let the disappointment show in my expression. Those two definitely fucked. Bear's one of the most honest people you'll meet. Just don't listen to a single thing he says. Those sound like complete opposites to me. My main point is that, speaking from experience, being an outsider usually means you don't have friends. I don't. I level him with a tired look. Fine, I'll confess. I have one friend. Don't say yourself. Cutius? As soon as he says the name, a thick wave of unease runs through me, the same sensation I felt at the sea spring and in the outskirts. But as quickly as the sick feeling hits me, it dissipates, leaving me oddly numb against the prickling cold. Who's that? A friend. It lives in my head. Dots. It lives in your head. Eyes taps his temple with a finger. Right here. Scared you off yet? That'd be the third bad impression I've made on you today. I'm stunned for a long moment, processing what he's just told me. Then I burst into a fit of laughter. You're serious? Eyes grins wide enough to flash his fangs. Deadly. It sounds so fucking absurd, I can't help it. On top of everything I've gone through today, it feels like I'm living in a fever dream. I've come close to death more times than I can count, encountered tame soulless in a horrifying group mind, and now I'm supposed to believe that there's someone living inside Eyes' head. I mean, it's the Seaspring, I don't know what you want. There are tears in my eyes by the time I rein myself in. Eyes waits patiently, lips quirked in amusement. Sorry, it just sounds so ridiculous. The tension that wound my shoulders so tightly has melted away, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe. I feel better. Dukas! Where in the rat's ass are you? Raucous, gruff shouts rise in the streets, echoed by the sound of heavy boots sloshing through mud. The voices share the roughneck's accent from the bar, the same roughneck who is still maybe dead and lying bloodied across from us. I nearly forgot about him. I shove to my feet as their voices get louder, the closing in quick. Eyes pulls me by the wrist out of the alley, away from beaming moonlight. We dive into a nook between buildings, veiled in the shade of tattered canopies. It's a tight fit. Eyes boxes me in against the wall, his body all but pressed against mine as he towers over me. For the second time today, the heady scent of smoke envelops me, but this time cut with a metallic tinge of someone else's blood. Eyes pitches his voice low. Quiet. My heart leaps into my throat. I'm suddenly acutely aware of heat radiating off of Ice's body, the feeling of his leg grazing my thigh, the closeness of his breath. This is bad. I squirm against him and earn a burning crimson glare. Do we really have to? His hand covers my mouth, muffling my whispers. He shakes his head. Don't. Damn, he's over here! Dukas, wake up, you bastard! A group of individuals, all brandishing spiked weapons, fill the alley. They all wear violet sashes, some kind of uniform. I wish I could see what they're doing, but Ice's arm all but blocks my sight. My eyes trail up the teal markings. They coil around his arm, his bicep. They lead up to Ice's collarbone, to the cords hanging around his neck, and to the smuggest smirk I've ever seen. I can bite him! Hold on. What do you mean bite him? Bite him! I move before I can think, opening my mouth enough to bare my teeth and bite down on Ice's palm. Hard. He winces, surprise flashing across his features. His hand leaves my mouth and I gasp in air. My breath is rapid from the adrenaline, but it's only when I lick my lips, when I taste the metallic tang of blood, that I realize I broke skin. Panic builds on my chest. My body tenses, bracing for his reaction. Every movement he makes is slow and deliberate. He bends down, leans close to my ear, and in a husky whisper only I can hear. At least someone could draw blood today. A hot thrill jolts through me. For a heartbeat, I forget to breathe. Voices in the alley grab Ice's attention this time. Shit! He's got more broken ribs than whole ones! What kind of freak did this? Fan out! Find the cocksucker responsible! You three, take Dukas back to base. At least he's still breathing. The alley clears out as footsteps rush away from us. We stay still until they're distant, melting into the rumble of the corridor. When we finally step back into the moonlight, the night air is ice on my skin. I feel dazed and the need to keep my eyes off Eyes at all cost. Is that really necessary? The tremble to my voice is nothing but embarrassing. Could ask you the same thing. Didn't know sparrows could bite. You're lucky I didn't do worse. Try me. Is this the game's way of telling me I should just go with Ice's fucking story first? So far he's the only one who I got the right option for. Is she flirting with the men? Of course! Of course! I'm looking at that name over there. I just bit this dude. The thought of wiping that shitty grin off his face is definitely tempting. Staying hidden was the best option. It would be a hassle to run into them with you there. Dude, my cat's below my foot right now. The blanket just fell off my knees and it's just like literally just covering him. He doesn't care. Hi, Banko! Oh, what? Because I'm dead weight? Because 3 bad impressions are enough for one day. The answer is too vague for my liking, but he's probably right. Either way, I don't have the energy to argue. Come on, Sparrow. Let's get you home before you're framed for murder. Very funny. We reached the front of the wet wick too quickly. I hate to admit it, but I don't want to separate from Ice yet. And not just because he never answered my questions. He's infuriating. As easily as he makes me feel on edge, he can make me feel safe, secure somehow. You know where to find me. At the creepiest place in the world. Take your time before you decide to drink. I happen to like your shitty attitude. Yo, he likes it. It makes me a moment to process it. Then my eyes flutter down to my feet. I'll keep that in mind. When I glance back up from the ground, Ice is already down the street, disappearing into the throng of people. No fanfare, not even a wave. Asshole. He just ends with asshole. Okay, wait. What are the normal options for that one? Hold on. Normal options that aren't just biting his ass. What is this? Did I save? I did save, right? Yo, this shit's out of order. Where's this one? You having fun? Stream as well, pretty fun. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, I gotta bite him. Stare at his chest. Look at this booba. Of course he went for the bite. Of course I'm gonna go for the bite. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of options. My eyes dart away from his face, following the line of his necklace down to his chest, the way the pendant hangs above the line of his abdomen, just before the skin gets swallowed by darkness. A thrill jolts through me. This can't be happening. Why am I getting worked up in this situation? I mean, there's a hot dude right in front of you. He's got my broken ribs. Okay, biting him is more fun. Biting him is more fun. Okay, last dude. And now we know, if you have the option to bite someone, just do it. Alright, Leander, the last guy. Let's go. For the second time today, I find myself squeezing through a crowd to reach Leander. As soon as he sees me, his easy smile fades. Are you alright, Saphera? I'm not used to someone looking at me with such earnest concern. You're definitely the most fucked up one in this group. I've been through worse today. And from the sounds of it, you have quite the day. How are you holding up? Could be better. I'm fine. Could be better. Not bad considering I've been threatened, robbed, and come close to dying too many times to count. I should have known not to let you out of my sight. And how about the next time you want to see the city, I come along? I could be your personal guide. You've already helped more than enough. Leander signals for the bartender. I'm parched. Do you want anything? You know what? Fine. I'll have another drink. Be an alcoholic like you, it's fine. Something strong and simple. Adventurous, aren't you? I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you. Of course, you also need to keep an eye on me. I've lost count of how many times I've had. Or how many I've had. Deal. Once he's ordered, Leander turns back to me. Did you at least get to try any good food? I had those fried dough sticks from a vendor near here. As soon as I begin describing my meal, his eyes brighten with recognition. The long lads from Wenstall. You've got to try them with porridge. There's another stall about a block away with those rosewater rice flour cakes. Take one bite and you'll think you've been transported to some high-town patisserie. It's fine. Then, bam! You open your eyes and it's the same trash-lined street as always. When he laughs, his hair falls over his eyes. He shakes his head and pushes it back. I'll show you sometime. If you've decided to stick around Lowtown, that is. The Aridia Leander describes is far different from the one I've experienced. But if you live anywhere long enough, I suppose it becomes home. Patisserie. Like rotisserie, but rotisserie patisserie. Like that? It seems like I'll be here for a while. Maybe I'll take you up on that. Yes, oh, okay. Patisserie. I'll just remember rotisserie. Chipkin, yeah. Dude, Chipkin sounds so good right now. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses and pushes them our way. Cheers! Leander clinks his glass against mine. I take a deep sip of the malty dark ale, savoring its flavor. That would not be me, but it's fine. It was surprising finding out that you all knew each other. I didn't think Aridia would be so small. Do you know how many times I tried getting them all in one place? It's impossible, like trying to herd a bunch of soulless. I take it you know them well? Depends. Was there anyone you're curious about in particular? Tell me more about Ver. He's kind of weird. What do you know about Ver? Leander shakes his head slowly, his expression grave. Ver, a living example of the Synovium's cruelty. Most days they keep him on a short leash. I'm surprised you ran into him. So tell me, what'd you make of him? He's rude. He's kind of a bitch, honestly. He's rude. Is he always so rude? Leander snorts, but a smile tugs at his lips. To everyone but eyes. If Ver's ever nice to you, you should take that as your hint to run. Why would the Synovium let someone so dangerous hang around in bars? As long as he gets his job done, they don't care. And I mean, I don't mind having him around. He can be fun, he's got a real presence. What exactly does that mean? Leander shrugs and laughs under his breath. He's nice to look at, mouthy, but his tongue's the least dangerous part of him. Yeah, it's him trying to fucking choke you out. Kill you. Min. And Min's interesting. Not very forthcoming, though. Ah, Min. My favorite grouchy freelancer. What's your impression of them? They seem lonely. They're pretty irritable. They seem lonely. I get the feeling they could use a friend. I think Min prefers to be alone. What makes you say that? I've known them since they arrived to Aridia, and they've turned down every attempt I've made. Well, almost every attempt. Oh, are you blushing, Hill? He trails off to take a deep swig of his drink. Anyway, I'm just saying, if Min wanted to be your friend, you'd know. Do it a little sus, but you know what, it's fine. Kuras. Do you and Kuras work together? Occasionally. Did the mysterious competent doctor catch your eye? He seems like a good person. Though it's hard to believe anyone's a good person these days. That's Kuras. He works hard to serve the people of Lowtown. He's a miracle worker, even if his bedside manner could use some work. Do you think he might be able to cure my curse? Leander starts to speak, pauses to consider me for a moment first. Kuras is good, but he's only a doctor. Besides, unless you're actively dying, he'll make you wait in line all day like everyone else. Eyes. So you're friends with Eyes? Have been for a while, but he's rarely in town. Where'd you run into him? The Sea Spring. Leander chokes on his drink. He coughs violently into his fist before giving me a surprised look. He went all the way out there. How'd he treat you? He was intimidating. Intimidating, to be honest. Don't let it get to you. Eyes does well in Aridia because he knows how to scare people. He's a monster. You really don't think he's a threat? Not in the slightest. I like to think of us as rivals. We like to keep each other on our toes, you know? Don't you think being rivals with a monster is a bad idea too? Bad idea? If he wanted to disembowel you, it'd be easy. No, it's not that serious. Sure, I sliced his toe lines on purpose, but he's not such a bad guy when you get to know him. Leander sighs and takes a swig from his glass. I'm just gonna assume everyone has fucked everybody else in this fucking world. Except maybe Min and Kuras. I think those are the only two that probably haven't fucked everyone. That about covers it. Aren't you tired of standing? Let's find you somewhere to sit. Leander pushes away from the bar, beckoning me to follow him. He leads me to a small booth hidden in a nook of the bar. A pair of bloodhounds notice him and immediately leap to their feet, offering their seats to us. As I slide into the booth, a web of graffiti scratched into the booth's tabletop catches my eye. The deepest grooves form the outline of the dog from Leander's posters. Dozens of roughly etched names surround the drawing, some fresh, some well-worn. What is all this? It's a tradition. Whenever someone joins the Bloodhounds, they have a drink with us and then they carve in their initials. The barkeeper must love that. After the first year, she finally stopped charging me extra for damages. 2 years and countless drinks later, she added her own name. You're not planning on recruiting me, are you? He quickly shakes his head. Not yet. You need time to think about your own path. Do you know what you're going to try next? The question gives me pause. I take my hands out from under my cloak and rest them on the table. Do you think you can help me? Of course! We can find answers together. Leander starts to reach for me, as though meaning to take my hand before stopping himself. His eyes look into mine. I won't fail you, Saphera. And if you ever need a taste of normalcy, I'll always be here for you. My chest tightens at the memory of touching him. Even now? Leander, wait, we're gonna handhold right here? Leander swallows. The table groans under his elbows as he leans forward. That's too close. The booth is so narrow that it completely blocks my view of the bar counter. It's almost as though Leander and I are completely alone. If that's what you want. How did it make you feel? It was warm, exciting. I don't know how to describe it. Leander rests his right hand on the table. He looks at me, smiling when I place my hand in his. Stop! This is too lewd! Stop! Slowly, he begins unwinding the bandages, stopping every so often to glance at me. This is too sexual. Oh my god. As my skin becomes visible, I cast a nervous glance around the bar. But as far as I can see, no one is paying us any attention. Leander squeezes my hand gently. No one will notice. He pulls back, raising his hand to his mouth so he can tug his glove off with his teeth. The muscles in his forearm tighten as he flexes his fingers. Our eyes meet and Leander offers his hand again. There you go. Hand holding on demand. I can't take his route's gonna be the last one for me. No matter what I do, I can't handle this. I can't handle this. A lump forms in my throat. I'm certain Leander sees it in my face, the flicker of desperation. His voice lowers to a whisper. Anything you want, Saphera. Oh, I can touch his face! Hold on. Touch his face! I blurt out the first request that comes to mind. Can I touch your face? Oh, sure. I lean over the table, hesitating before I reach for his face. When my fingers graze his jaw, Leander laughs softly. It tickles. It's fine. You can just... He takes my wrist, angling my hand so he can press his cheek into my palm. Warmth spreads under my fingertips. A surprised breath escapes me. I can't... To my head. Gently, I run my thumb down the ridge of the scar on his cheek, and he shudders, his earring jingling against my knuckles. You're getting awfully bold. Stick his fingers up his nose! No! No! I've never touched someone like this before. And even though it makes my head spin, it's already not enough. I want to be even closer. Oh, am I gonna make out on stream? My heart hammers, filling my ears with a pulse that grows unbearably loud until I pull my hand back. Are you alright? I can barely hear his words over my pounding heart, but I manage to nod. Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I think I'm just getting a little dizzy. He gives me a gentle smile, eyes crinkling at the edges. You've had a long day. You deserve some rest. Luckily, your room is just upstairs. Want me to walk you back? I shake my head and begin wrapping my hand back up. With each deep breath, my head feels more clear. I'm fine, but thanks for, well, everything. Remember what I told you. If you ever need a break from the chaos of the city, I'll be here for you. When I rise, Leander gives me one last smile. Good night, Saphera. Night. I trudge up the stairs, but even as I leave Leander behind, the warmth of his skin still lingers on mine, burning through the bandages. Sus! Okay. Well, that's it for TOUCHSTARVED. We went through each of the boys. We got two of the red options. I think there's like a third one or possibly one for each of the dudes. But I ain't gonna figure out how to get those, so. What do you mean sussy? I'm not sussy. But no, for real though, I've had a lot of fun with this game, and it only took me less than 4 hours. Gee, every visual novel. Less than 4 hours. What is this? But thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed my unhinged reactions towards some of the dudes. I don't want to look back at this VOD and be like, where was I the cringiest at? But I think I might have to. But I had a good time. This is a good game. And just a reminder to everyone, you can also play the demo yourself. It's on Steam. The demo, that is. And the game is currently in Kickstarter. So as the time as me doing this live stream, there's 2 to 3 days left on the Kickstarter. I probably am gonna go back it, because I really like the vibes. I like the efforts that have been done to this game. You can tell that the people working on this game put a lot of effort into this. And so I'm glad that their Kickstarter is doing as well as it is. But yeah, if you guys want to get some sweet bonuses and shit, support the Kickstarter. So I'm probably gonna go do that. Yeah, I think that's it for me today. She gonna back the Bites? Of course I'm gonna back the Bites. If I could do the Bites, it's like kinda hot, you know? But I am interested in this story, and I cannot wait to see what the full version has in mind. And what the overarching story is. So I'm looking forward to that. Very interesting story. And I like the dark atmosphere of it. It started off really, really strong. Anyway, you guys, thank you guys so much again for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the scuff voice acting. I can't do guide voices very well. But you know, I had a lot of fun. Oh, my cat. Hey, stop that. Grimmy. Stop it. Stop it. TY for stream. Thank you for hanging out, you guys. Thank you, Binko. Thank you, Reed. And thank you, everyone who's been hanging out since the beginning. And anyone who has dropped by since. And even the VOD watchers. If the VOD watchers even made it this far. If you're a VOD watcher and you made it this far, yo, you gotta leave a comment for real. I refuse to believe anyone watches the entire fucking VOD. That's insane. But thank you guys so much again. I will end the stream now because can't rate anyone on YouTube, so. But yeah, everyone go check out the description and everything. Support the game and all that. It's very fun. My cat's distracting me right now. Holy shit. Okay, bye guys. Take care. Have a good night. Good night. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. And keep it vibing. I will see you all next week for Conspiracy Theory. Otherwise, I will be on Twitch on Wednesday for more Tales of Symphonia. Come hang out. Bye guys. Bye.